You're watching another Rider Nation Station presentation brought to you by TSC and these following fine sponsors.
TV everywhere.
TV everywhere?
That's right, everywhere. You can watch TV from your tablet, your phone, your laptop, any mobile device, anywhere you want.
Laundromat?
Yes.
Grocery store?
Yes.
Park?
Yes.
What if I wanted to watch TV at home?
All your favorite networks all the time. It's TV everywhere from TSC.
It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
Good evening, everyone, and we welcome you to Sydney Memorial Stadium in Sydney, Ohio for the Rider Nation Station broadcast of the Division III Regional 12 semifinal game between the Trotwood Madison Rams and the St. Marys Rough Riders. I'm Joe Hurlbert, and I'll be bringing you all the play-by-play action. And I went to the bullpen a number of times and was able to come up with our reliever tonight. And Doug Spencer will be joining me in the booth, and this should be a good ball game between two teams that are fairly familiar with each other.
Absolutely, Joe. It's a great evening for football. Anytime you're playing in November is a great evening for football. It's a little interesting and unique that we are the visiting team. However, the St. Mary's fans were given the home side as we bring people in large numbers, and Trotwood Madison does not. And it is interesting, the story that we have because of the Cowbell Mafia and the connection of Trotwood Madison.
Well, right now the St. Mary's Memorial All-Brass Marching Band is on the field performing for the St. Mary's Faithful, and I do believe they're going to be playing the alma mater. But the Trotwood Madison Rams come in, Doug, with a record of 8-1 overall in their division, and 3-1 in the national division. They play in the GWAC conference, and 3-1 in that national division. When you look at their teams that they have played, they lost the last two games of the year, Springboro and Springfield, but they had to go outside the country to play a team, and they played our ICC Canada Prep, which they won 48-6.
You know, that's interesting because earlier in the year when St. Mary's was trying to find that first game, as Sydney is no longer going to be that first game for St. Mary's, that was something that was a potential consideration, is that we may have to play a Canadian team. Unfortunately, we didn't have to work that out because just think of the logistics of making that type of trip, having to go through customs, and it would be a very interesting day of football to get that completed. And, Trotwood Madison 8-3, they lost the last two regular season games, if I remember correctly, but they also lost early to Cincinnati Winton Woods, who is a spectacular football team. They're high ranked, and so we've got a great football team in Trotwood Madison with a lot of weapons, a lot of speed. However, as Doug Fry mentioned, just not a lot of numbers for Trotwood.
They don't. When you look at them offensively, they are averaging 28.7 points a contest. They're averaging 189 yards on the ground. They're averaging 160 yards through the air. They are led by their junior quarterback, Cooper Stewart, who is 82 of 139 to date for 1,267 yards, 13 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions. But not only does he throw the football, he also is an excellent ball carrier, where on the season he's carried the ball 78 times for 223 yards and 6 touchdowns. So he's a double threat. He can throw the football and he can run the football, very much what we saw last week against the quarterback that Franklin Wildcats had.
Absolutely, and I think Franklin was a very good ball team. They just didn't quite have the number of athletes that we're going to see tonight. And Cooper Stewart has 2 favorite targets that he's looking for when he's dropping back to pass. and that's Carl Blanton Jr., who has 27 receptions, 551 yards receiving, and 7 touchdowns. And then his other favorite target is Sammy Anderson, 14 receptions, 304 yards with 6 touchdowns. So it's going to be a multifaceted offensive approach by the Trotwood Madison Rams, who, they've established a tradition of winning, and I believe this is their 11th straight time of being in the postseason, Joe.
And, of course, their running back is a threat to be considered as well. Hezekiah Hudson Davis, he's just a freshman. He's carried the ball 150 times this year for 1,005 yards, although you would think over 1,000 yards you'd have more touchdowns in the column, but he's only scored 10 times this year. So I think what you see with Trotwood Madison is that you don't see a lot of numbers as far as the roster is concerned, but you see a lot of skilled and very fast athletes on the field, which a lot of them will go both ways.
And St. Mary's is in for a monumental task here, because Trotwood Madison, obviously we just identified that they've got a lot of weapons, but they are very well respected. They finished 4th AP in the state. And if you go to Fantastic50.net, Drew Pasteur's site, where he's a uses the computer for statistics and probabilities, he's got them ranked as the 38th best team in the state of Ohio, and that's all divisions. Interestingly enough, when I was looking at that, Joe, Anna is ranked number 43.
Really?
They're number 43 in their Division 6, and St. Mary's, I think I saw that they, as of week 11, they were 95th. So they come with a lot of respect. And the last 2 games, as I mentioned earlier, where they lost the last 2 regular season games, close ones, Joe. They lost to Springboro 25-28 and Springfield 20-21.
Yeah. Also, last week they defeated the Walpock Redskins 33-21, and this is a ball club that can strike quickly. They scored 2 times in a matter of 15 seconds, to speak. They returned a punt for a touchdown, and then on the ensuing kickoff, Walpock fumbled the football. They picked it up and ran it in for a touchdown, and that pretty much put the game away for Trotwood Madison.
Yeah, if you were a Walpock fan who happened to go get some popcorn real quick and came back, you're like, what just happened?
Absolutely.
In a matter of seconds?
Absolutely. Well, we're going to take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to take a quick look at the St. Mary's Rough Riders for tonight's contest. We'll do that and more as tournament play continues from Sydney Memorial Stadium. You're listening to the St. Mary's Rough Riders Trotwood Madison Rams ball game on Rider Nation Station.
Even though the music on the patio has come to an end, Guarneri's would like to thank everyone for joining them on the patio on Friday nights. Though the music has ended, stop in and try their signature Big Ralph sub, pizza, or calzone. Guarneri's on Spring Street in St. Mary's. Give them a call at 419-394-2244.
Vogel's Bake Shop, making thousands of fresh donuts daily, open 7 days a week with stores in St. Mary's, Salina, and Walpock. Also now found in Wagner's IGA in New Bremen, Minster, and Fort Laramie.
If you're in the market to buy or sell a home, your job is made easy with Scott Ross Realty. Contact one of their hardworking, well-trained agents today at 419-305-4373 for all of your home buying and selling needs. Scott Ross Realty, wishing all Rough Rider sports good luck.
We're back at Sydney Memorial Stadium. Joe Hurlbert alongside Doug Spencer for this Division III Region 12 semifinal game between the Trotwood Madison Rams and the St. Mary's Rough Riders. The St. Mary's Memorial All Brass Marching Band will perform our national anthem this evening. We're still awaiting the arrival of the Trotwood Madison Rams. Of course, the OHSAA rule, I believe, is that the national anthem cannot be played until both teams are on the field. Doug, for the Rough Riders, last week we saw the emergence, if you will, and he just continues to get better, and that's Ross Henchen. He had 110 yards rushing and scored a big touchdown in the ball game and set up a couple as well, but he's really come on as of late.
He really has. It was such a joy to watch Ross have the success that he did. not only last week but a little bit during the Defiance game. And Joe, what I think is really interesting is it going to be Ross Henshin's night tonight? Is it going to be Hunter Fraley's night tonight? Or is it going to be Aiden Hinkle's night tonight at the fullback position? And as an opposing coach, that has to be a little bit of a difficulty of planning what we're going to do, because we're not certain which back we're going to see. And each back, yes, they have a lot of similarities, but there's a little bit of differences and nuances of how they run the ball and hit the hole that they have to prepare for.
Absolutely. When you look at the Rough Riders, and I looked at their overall statistics for the season, the turnover margin is plus 13. Now, earlier in the season, that was a big concern for head coach Doug Fry, but of course, as the season went on, they've got a lot more takeaways than giveaways, and so they're up plus 13. And this is an interesting stat down here. In the red zone, they've been in the red zone 31 times. They have scored 27 of those 31 times in the red zone for 87.1%. That's impressive.
Let's get to the red zone often tonight, Joey.
Absolutely.
And I think we got to make certain that, Coach Fry emphasizes numerous times, and as he just did again on the Doug Fry show. Check that show out if you haven't yet, folks. It's a great show. Is that it's all about special teams, and we can't have what happened with Wapak and that, where you got a punt return, and then you also have a kickoff return where there's a fumble and return for a touchdown. So we've got to play as clean of a game as possible, and we got to get them to have forced errors as well that we can capitalize on.
And one of the things Coach Fry emphasized on his show this week as well, Doug, is that the sustained drive, the 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 play drive and put the ball in the end zone. He would like to see more of that. Right now, the national anthem by the St. Marys Memorial All-Brass Marching Band.
Run the cord up through that and put it out the window, because that window won't move.
It was kind of fun watching Denny wrestle.
Yeah.
Nothing.
Don't need it.
Welcome you back once again to Sydney Memorial Stadium. Joe Hurlbert alongside Doug Spencer as we're just moments away from kickoff of this Division III Regional 12 semifinal game. And of course, the winner of this game will probably take on the winner of the other Regional 12 semifinal game, which pits number 8 Kettering Archbishop Alder with a 7-4 record, taking on the number 4 seed, the Hamilton Baden Rams at 8-3. They're playing tonight down at Monroe Hornet Stadium. So we'll see how that all shakes out. We'll hopefully be able to keep you posted as to the score of that contest. But the Rough Riders are here in force. The Rough Rider faithful are down below us, and they're here in force. Of course, they have to battle some seeding conditions because we had about 3 or 4 inches of snow this week, and the field is in excellent shape. And you can see on our screen, you can see the black that's along where the band is marching through right now. That's the black that goes in on the field, that when they ran the broom across it with the tractor, that's swept up from the field. That'll probably all be replaced later on, but the seats are snow covered.
Joey, I had to come here on Wednesday in order to get all the logistics down to be able to bring to Rider Nation Station this football game. And it was a blanket of snow. The aisleways were a foot deep, and so all the drifting occurred right in the aisleways. And then they have the nice seat backs like we do at Rough Rider Athletic Complex, Grand Lake Field, Health Field. And when I came here today, we got here about 4:30 to set up. and it was either snow or ice, and it was very treacherous getting up and down these aluminum aisleways, Joey.
Well, it was about 34 degrees when we arrived at the stadium this evening, and of course the temperature will drop throughout the course of the night, and of course these steps will become a little bit more treacherous. So if you're here at the stadium listening to us via YouTube, Rider Nation Station, be careful as you exit up and down the stairs. Well, the Rough Riders will receive the kickoff to start this contest. Back is Braden Hemmelgarn, Ty Howe, and Dylan Troglin. And this kickoff return is being brought to you by your State Farm agent, Laura Yelton. Be a legend, insure your life. It bounces off of Howell's knee. He picks it up and goes straight forward with the return, and he is brought down about the 26-yard line. So here come the Rough Rider offense for the first time in the ball game.
So Ty Howell did not field that ball quite as clean as what we would like to see, but fortunately he was able to scoop it back up, take it from the 15-yard line, and get to the 27-yard line. And the Rough Riders have it first down and 10.
Rough Riders on the season average a normal start at about the 37.6-yard line, so they're back a little bit farther than this. We'll give the ball to Aiden Hinkle. He'll drive up left side. He gets very little on the play, where he is stopped by a host of red shirts. Of course, we talked about the Rough Riders being the visiting team. They're in their white jerseys with blue numerals, with gold pants, with white and blue trim, gold helmets. The Rams of Trotwood Madison in their red jerseys, white pants and white numerals and white helmets. They are the home team. Bupp will turn. He'll give the ball to Howell. Howell sweeps to the right. He dances the sideline, and he just pushes forward and is now finally thrown out of bounds by Keontae Hughley, but not before he picked up good yardage and a first down for the Rough Riders.
What a fantastic run by Ty Howe, and has to set this pace right now, and he did it with a stiff arm.
He did.
He kept the defender from being able to get to his ankles and trip him up because he had that stiff arm, and then, just like he did last week, did a nice little tightrope walk along the sideline.
We got Wedding in the wing to the left. We're going to counter him back, and he's got a hole. He's to the 50 as he breaks a tackle, and he's tripped up at the 50, but falls forward to about the 48-yard line.
Again, great second, third effort. They had him by the ankle, but he kept moving that ankle and kept moving his other leg, was able to get a nice gain, bringing second down and 4 from the Rams' 48-yard line.
Riley Swigert, the center for the Rough Riders. Kurt Bupp under center, full house backfield. Bupp calls the signals. Long count, turn, give the ball to Aiden Hinkle. He'll go straight forward. We'll give him a gain of about 3 on the play. We'll call it third down and 1. 10:32 remaining here in the first quarter. Joe Hurlbert, Doug Spencer, glad to have you along here on Rider Nation Station.
As you look at the replay here, as soon as Hinkle got the ball, he was hit by number 6, Keyshawn Hughley, and offensive line's going to have to just get a little bit more push in order that doesn't happen.
We got Wedding on the wing to the right. Bupp goes straight forward. He'll have enough for the first down. Good line surge by the offensive line, which consists of Gavin Ward, Stash Patterson, Riley Swigert at center, Logan Allen, Devin Shannon, and of course Blake Knorrs at tight end. Just a good line surge.
Beautiful picture there. Cameraman Scott Anderson down on the field, Eric Anderson, Logan Yelton up top. Great job, guys, bringing that to us.
Well, I'm glad they got here plenty of time to get us on the air. There goes Wedding. He breaks free. He's to the 40, to the 35, where he is brought down. We'll give him a gain of 8 on the play. Nice job there again by Ethan Wedding.
And that's the second time running to Ethan Wedding with that little misdirection, and it's been successful both times of getting some great yards.
Just misdirection. The defense goes one way. They counter Wedding back the other way, and he picks up about 8 yards on the play. Again, we'll call it second down and 2 for the Rough Riders. Wedding wing right. Hinkle and Howell behind Bupp. Give it to Hinkle. He goes straight forward, and we'll give him a gain of about 1 on the play. So to bring up third down and 1.
So they're definitely keying in on that fullback position, Joe, because as soon as he's getting the handoff, he's got about a step. And that time, Mr. Devin Anderbron, number 28 for the Rams, put a nice stick on him.
8:45 remaining here in the first quarter on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. No score. Kurt Bupp, quarterback sneak. And again, give him
he's good.
Gee whiz, give him a gain of about 9. Give him on the play.
Boy, he just about snuck out of that scrum right there, Joe, and took it pay dirt. Here we go on the replay where we can see him sneak out right there. Kind of got ahead of our cameraman. That was a great run by Kurt Bupp, number 2, our quarterback.
Good job by Logan Allen, Riley Swigert. Wedding wing to the right. Bupp turns. He'll hand the ball to Ross Henchins in the ball game. He's going to break a tackle and is brought down at about the 18-yard line. First time that Ross has carried the ball here in the ball game.
Yep, that was Ross's first time into the game. They give him the trap play there, and he's able to sneak out, get a nice little gain before he's eventually brought down by 2 Ram defenders. Presents 2nd down and 4 from the Rams' 19-yard line.
The contrast is that Hinkle is just pretty much a strong fullback. Henson gives you a little more quickness. Bupp calls the signals. Long count, turn, give the ball to Henson. Off right tackle, and he spins for a gain of a couple. We'll give him a gain of 2. We'll call it 3rd down and 2 for the Rough Riders. Clock moving at 7:22.
Here you see the replay. Ross Henson's going to get the handoff, and he's going to freeze, and there he goes. Gets tripped up there with somebody down on the field. Good enough for a gain of 2. Joe, it's 3rd down 2. I might suspect perhaps a quarterback sneak.
Anything else would surprise me. Blake Knorr is in. He'll line up on the right side as tight end. Wing to the right is Wedding. Turn. He's going to give the ball. Oh, well, we got whistles on the play.
Oh, offsides. We got encroachment on the Rams. That's what we like to see, Joey.
That'll give the Rough Riders a 1st down. We'll take it. So it'll give the Rough Riders a fresh set of downs, and that will move the ball to the Trotwood-Madison 13-yard line.
12-yard line.
12-yard line. And we got the scores flashing up in Division III up on the scoreboard, so we'll be able to check them out if you could if you could read that fast. Howell sweep to the right, stops. He's trying to cut back, but he's going to be thrown for a loss of about 3 on the play.
So the Rams had done a nice job containing there as he tried to make the sweep, as you see here. Tried to make something out of nothing and just got caught up by a host of Ram defenders. And we got a little bit of a loss of 2 yards. Yes, yep. 2nd down and 12.
Keyshawn Hughley in on the tackle for the Trotwood-Madison Rams. Bupp trots back in with the play from head coach Doug Fry. They get this one snapped. It will be under 6 minutes here in the first quarter. And again, this is the type of offense Doug Fry was talking about. Long, sustained drives. But let's put one in the end zone.
Bupp's looking, but he's going to get swallowed up.
He's going to be tackled for a big loss.
James Zachary, number 7 for the Rams, swallows up Kurt Bupp for a loss. And it's going to be a big loss here, as you see on the replay.
Looked like the play was a little slow developing, and really it was just Trotwood-Madison came in like a sieve and just sacked him for a loss. So it's going to be 3rd down, and we'll call it
1, 2, 3.
Farther than 12.
20.
Yeah, 3rd and 20. Wedding wing to the right. Bupp is going to roll to the right. He's scrambling, and he's going to go down again. Another sack for the Ram defense. And in on the tackle is number 35. That's Tyreek Gooch.
Unfortunately, Joe, 2 pass plays in a row. It's taken us out of any opportunity of putting it through the uprights at the foot of Bowers. So we've got 4th down and 20. If we do try, it would be a.
Well, he's hit from 40. He's hit from 40. He's hit from 40 this year.
45-yard. Field goal attempt.
And there is a bit of a breeze blowing from the northeast, so
we're gonna go for it here.
Yep. 4th down and 25 to go for the Rough Riders. The ball on the Trotwood-Madison 28. Wedding wide right. There's a pass down to Parks.
He's wide
Parks
open.
is wide open, and it is knocked down.
Nice read by number 3, Sammy Anderson, who we're now going to see on the offensive side of the ball receiving the ball. But he comes over from that safety position, and he knocks it out. But what a beautifully thrown ball from Buck to Reed Parks, but just great defense by number 3, Sammy Anderson. Quite an unfortunate couple plays there, Joe, that takes us out of being able to put some points on the board.
A couple of sacks moved the Riders out of, like you said, Doug, any chance of putting any points on the board and out of field goal range for Brandon Bowers.
I'd like to give a shout out to Zach Albert, loyal listener at Rider Nation Station. He's already posted, "Let's go Riders," and let's go Riders. Defensive time to step up.
Cooper Stewart, the quarterback, the junior quarterback for the Rams. I formation behind him. He steps up, 2-step drop. He's looking for a receiver. And he's got Sammy Anderson, and he breaks a tackle, and he's close to midfield before he's run out of bounds. So really nothing fancy there, just about a 3-step drop, stand up, look for Anderson, straight down the middle, or straight down the sideline, and he just runs about a 7-yard stop, and that's it. Hit him with a good pass and let his athleticism take it from there.
They've got great speed, and our defenders obviously are aware of that, but got to make certain that we are able to wrap and drive them out before they get the second and third long-distance yards.
Ball on the Rams' 45-yard line. Turn, give the ball to Davis. Hezekiah Hudson Davis will pick up enough close to a first down. We'll give him a gain of 9 on the play. The ball is in Rough Rider territory. They'll play us at the St. Mary's 46-yard line.
Our initial hit was by number 4, Lucas Water, held on until the rest of the team could get him stopped. What speed we just watched there.
Cooper Stewart. Behind him is Keyshawn Hughley and Hezekiah Hudson Davis. Stewart, he pulls it down. He's flushed out of the pocket. He's going to run it. And nice tackle by Tanner Howe. But I think he's going to get enough for a first down.
They are going to move the chains there, Joe. Cooper Stewart looks, can't find anything. He's going to tuck it and run. And a nice step up by Tanner Howe. Almost could have had a illegal blindside block against Paul there, but it was not called.
Keyshawn Hughley is the fullback. Behind him is Hezekiah Hudson Davis. Cooper Stewart, the quarterback. He'll go under center. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. 3-step drop, quick throw. Out
containing
to Hughley. That's Keontae Hughley. And he'll be tackled at about the 40-yard line.
Wow, we had two guys on him, and he just kept driving those feet and was able to get past the line of scrimmage and get a gain of 4 out of that, Joe.
We'll give him a gain of about 4 on the play. We'll call it 2nd down and 6. 2:50 remaining here in the first quarter on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. Still no score of this Division III Regional 12 semifinal game. Keontae Hughley wide to the left. Stewart under center. Stops, fakes. It's going right down the middle, and it is incomplete. Pass was intended for Carl Blanton. Good job there by
everybody, Joe.
Howell.
Take a look at the replay if we capture it. Trey Fisher puts a nice hit on the quarterback, and well defended by our defensive backs there. Great play from our defensive line to our defensive backs.
Carson Fishbach and Ty Howe was back on the receiver. Did a great job there knocking the ball down. 2:48 remaining in the first quarter on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. It'll bring up 3rd down and 6. Ball at the St. Mary's 40-yard line. Cooper Stewart in the shotgun. 3 receivers to the left. Here comes the Rough Rider defense. We got a flag on the play. The pass is incomplete.
We've got a flag on the play. Be interesting to see what this is from the wingman. It's going to go against the Rams. Illegal shift, I believe, Joe, is the call.
Well, we'll take a look at it here. I think it's called an illegal shift because I don't think they may not have enough men on the line of scrimmage.
I'd like to give a little shout out to All Glaze Equipment Rental, Joe, one of our sponsors, and we really appreciate what they do. Riders get a little cold on the sideline, so All Glaze Equipment Rental has provided the kerosene heaters for the team.
Beautiful.
Thanks to Spank and the crew.
Dominique Reese will do the punting for the Rams. It'll be 4th down and 6. Ball is on the St. Mary's 40. Back to return the punt is Dylan Troglin and Ty Howell. Here's the punt, and it's not a good punt. We got a flag on the play.
It's going to be a dead ball. Illegal procedure against the Rams.
All right, we'll move it back 5 more.
There's a picture of the referee, the white hat, making that infraction known to the press box, and that's going to march him back another 5 yards. Ball is now placed on the Rough Rider 45-yard line.
2:40 remaining. No time went off the clock.
It's all about special teams. Let's see what we have here, Joe.
So Ty Howell is the lone punt returner. He's standing at about the 20-yard line. There's a punt. It'll hit at about the 23, and the Riders will get away from it, and it will be blown down or blown dead at the St. Mary's, we'll call it the 18-yard line. So the Rough Riders will have the football for the second time in this contest. 2 minutes and 30 seconds remaining on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. Still no score. Want to remind everybody, and I'm going to get it right this time, that between the first and second quarter, you'll hear our Big Ralph Rider replay, and it's a dandy.
It's a playoff it's highlight that probably hasn't been heard for a while, and we've even got video to watch for those that watch the replay and not listen to the audio.
Aiden Hinkle on the carry straight up the middle for the Rough Riders. We'll give him a gain of about 4 on the play. We'll call it 2nd down and 6. Oh, we'll give him a gain of 5. We'll call it 2nd and 5. 2:10 remaining here in the first quarter. Still no score on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. Glad to have you along. You're listening to it on Rider Nation Station. And don't forget, you can watch the replay on TSC, channel 702 and 13.1 come Monday. There's Henshin on the carry. He'll pick up a 1st down. Nice job by Ross Henshin.
We may have got away with a block in the back there, Joe. Glad that did not get called, but that's how it works sometimes.
It'll be 1st down and 10 for the Rough Riders at their own 33. Give the ball to Howell. Sweep to the right. Got a block by Fishbach. He's still dancing on the sidelines and knocked out of bounds.
He's just impressive to watch, Joe. He must have a center core of gravity, core control like no others, because he is just able to maintain his balance, stop on a dime, go the other way until he's finally driven out of bounds. Ty Howell, number 12, what an impressive Rough Rider running back.
Of course, Ty Howell, first team all Western Buckeye League selection this year. Of course, I believe 10 riders were named to the all-league team this year. We got flags on the play.
It's going to be the first penalty against the Rough Riders, Joe. There we've got the referee making the illegal procedure call against the Rough Riders. Going to march us back.
Trying to figure out here how many penalties. 53 penalties on the year for the Rough Riders. They've been penalized for 539 yards. Turn, give the ball to Howell, and he'll fight his way to about the 39-yard line. Well, to bring up 3rd and about 4 for the Rough Riders. 1:17 remaining, first quarter.
Here you see on the replay, Howell gets hit twice. Finally driven down by the 3rd tackler there.
On that particular play, Doug, he lined up at the right halfback position instead of his normal left halfback's position. So Coach Fry trying to kind of disorient the key that the defense is focusing on. I think that was
Henshin's going to get just a few there, so that's going to present 4th down and a punt situation for the Rough Riders. It's 4th and 2 from the Rough Riders 41-yard line.
Brandon Bowers will be in to do the punting for the Rough Riders. Back to receive for the Rams is Sammy Anderson. He'll be standing at about his own 32-yard line. High snap over his head.
He's got time. He's got time.
And he'll get the punt off.
That was miraculous right there.
It is a good punt, all things considered. And it's going to be stopped dead at the Ram 40-yard line. I'll tell you what, not a good snap, way over his head, and good composure by Brandon Bowers.
You could hear the gasp of everybody beneath us, Joe, and fortunately they were not coming after that. And great presence of mind by Bowers, not to panic, pick it up, and he just got it away and made a lot out of a horrible situation for the Rough Riders.
Well, again, we talked earlier, and Coach Fry is in charge of the special teams for this Rough Rider ball club, and special teams in games like this can make a difference, and that was a good special teams play by Bowers. 5.8 seconds remaining here in the first quarter. Cooper Stewart.
Another flag, Joe.
It's going to be delay a game. No, wait a minute. You can't do that. We have a delay a game. The play clock ran out, and then the game clock ran out. So how does that work?
I think we're going to do a little bit of resetting here, Joe.
Good thing I don't go to the Big Ralph Rider replay, because this is exactly what I did last week. Thinking it was the end of the first quarter when there was 2 seconds left. Hamilton Baden leads Kettering Alder by a score of 3-0 in that contest down there.
Referees are having the Coach Reams talk to the press box, told him to put 5.8 seconds back on the clock.
So it'll be 1st and 15 for the Madison Rams. Got a man in motion. And that's number.
Trying to stretch us out. And they have fumble on the play.
The ball's on the ground, and it'll go out of bounds. The ball carrier was Justin Johnson, and he just strictly lost the handle on it. And it runs out of bounds, and as it does, we run out of time here in the first quarter. You can see him there on the replay, just absolutely lost it, and so they dodge a bullet. So that's the end of the first quarter on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. The St. Mary's Rough Riders nothing, the Trotwood Madison Rams nothing. We'll be back after we hear from our Big Ralph Rider replay, brought to you by Guarneri's on Spring Street, home of the signature Big Ralph sub, pizza, and calzone. Come try our thirst-quenching Rider-Aid before, during, and after the game. It's Guarneri's. Give them a call at 419-394-2244, and we hope you enjoy this edition of the Big Ralph Rider replay.
Chippenberg has him in the shotgun formation. He calls the signals. He's back to throw. He's got all day. He's looking out here, no pressure. Now he gets a little pressure. Now he flips it down the field. Got him out. Oh, man! Whoa, what a hit! Oh, man! Oh, man! Nick Yale just drilled. Woo!
Oh, mercy, my. He won't do it again.
Well,
I'm going to tell you something right here, right now. I'd go back, if I was that receiver, I'd go back to that quarterback and say, you go out and catch it next time.
Wow.
Wow.
Well,
what a stick.
He got up and he walked off the field, but I'm not sure he knows what time zone he's in.
Affectionately known as the hit. Nick Yale. I'll tell you what a hit that was. I'll tell you from where I was in the press box, it took my breath away. We're back to action here in the second quarter as pass was completed out to number 1.
I'd like to see how close that was to hitting the ground, Joe. Just a little quick pass. Ugh. The referee was right in front of that, but boy, that was awfully close.
Yeah. We'll give him a gain of about 4 on the play. We'll call it 3rd down and 6 for the Rams. The ball at their own 44-yard line. Cooper Stewart in the shotgun. He's got Hudson Davis behind him. Here comes Tanner Howe on the blitz. He'll go up the middle. They're going to stop him short of the first down.
Great defensive effort. Looks like Trace Mabry was in on that defensive stop. Check out the replay here. Trace spins, gets there, as does Brandon Paul.
So
great defensive effort,
down.
Joe.
Absolutely. Big stop by the Rough Rider defense. And back to receive the punt for the Rough Riders is Ty Howell and Dylan Troglin. I believe both of these guys have returned punts for touchdowns this year. So they are a double threat for the Rough Riders. There's the punt by Reese, and it's Howell. Howell breaks a tackle. He's to the 45, to the 46-yard line. Good return by Ty Howell.
About an 18-yard return for Ty Howell. The Rams punter, he's hitting some line drives.
Yeah.
The ball's getting quickly to Ty Howell, and he just was explosive as soon as he caught that. And again, he's elusive. He can stop, he can turn, he can explode on a dime. And you see right there, lowers his shoulder and puts the Rough Riders in nice field position to start this possession with 10:35 in the second quarter.
The Rough Riders will have the football, 1st and 10 at their own 47-yard line. Kurt Bupp. He'll turn. He'll give the ball to Aiden Hinkle. Ball's loose on the field, and it's recovered. So Aiden Hinkle loses the football. It's recovered by the Trotwood Madison Rams. At the bottom of the pile is number 55. That's Malachi Oglesby.
Well, we were in great field position, Joe, and, as we talked in pregame, we've got to make certain that we take care of the ball and we don't have issues like what we just witnessed there, and we've got to force Trotwood to be able to do the things that we just watched.
Absolutely. Just saw on the scoreboard, Hamilton Baden now leads Kettering Alder 10-0. Cooper Stewart under center. He'll turn. He'll give the ball to Hudson Davis. He picks up good yardage. He'll pick up about 12 on the play.
He's so fast and explosive. He got tripped up by Brandon Paul on the 40-yard line, Joe, and his momentum flying through the air took him to the Rough Rider 36.
Keyshawn Hughley is the fullback. Hudson Davis behind Cooper Stewart. Davis gets the football, and he'll gain about 8 on the play. So
brought down from behind by number 97, Blake Knorr. I think that's the first time we've called his name out on defense, and here he is chasing from behind and is able to pull him down. Lucas Walters there to stop as well.
Trotwood Madison up to the line of scrimmage, no huddle. Cooper Stewart under center. He'll turn, give the ball to Hudson Davis, and he'll get the first down, and he'll be inside the 25-yard line for Trotwood Madison.
The Rams are moving. Rough Rider defense needs to step up and get a stop like they have in the previous defensive times out there. Joe, as we are facing 9:22 to go with first down and 10 from the Rough Rider 24, you watch how we tackle, and Coach Fry talked about this, but a lot of times it pulls people forward the way that they are tackling now.
Here comes Hughley on the carry. He's going to cut back. He's to the 10. He's angling for the corner. Ty Howell's got him. It's touchdown of 24 yards by Keyshawn Hughley. So the Trotwood Madison Rams score first from 24 yards out.
Here we see he's going to the right hash as he makes a cut back to the left hash. Ty Howell's going to make a valiant effort to bring him down with a little bit of a clothesline. A little too late, and that presents a point after touchdown attempt by the Trotwood Rams with 8:58 to go in the half.
Carter Mims will do the point, attempt the point after, out of the hold of Cooper Stewart. 6-0, Rams on top, 8:58 here in the first half. Here comes the Rough Riders. It's up, and it is good. So with 8:58 remaining here in the first half, it's the Trotwood Madison Rams 7, the St. Mary's Rough Riders nothing on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. We'll take this break. We'll come right back right after this.
St. Mary's Foundry is a global leader in manufacturing complex iron castings. Our skilled workforce takes pride in producing the highest quality iron castings, weighing up to 60,000 pounds. St. Mary's Foundry wants to take this opportunity to give a big shout out to all our local teams, wishing them a safe and extraordinary season. And speaking of great teams, St. Mary's Foundry would like to thank its very own team of hardworking employees for their loyalty and dedication. If you're looking for rewarding challenges and first-string wages and benefits, check us out at stmfoundry.com or on hometownopportunities.com. St. Mary's Foundry, where iron and ingenuity meet.
This kickoff return is being brought to you by your State Farm agent, Lori Yelton. Be a legend. Insure your life.
Well, Joey, apparently they did call a personal foul on the clothesline tackle on Ty Howe as the Rams are kicking from the Rough Riders' 45-yard line. I never saw the flag.
I didn't either. Well, back to receive the kickoff for
apparently
the Rough Riders.
We ran into the kicker on the extra point, which is where the infraction came to move the ball up to the Rough Rider 45 on the kick.
Well, the kick will go out of bounds. So it'll go out of bounds. So I think they're going to place this back at the 30 or 35-yard line, I believe.
35.
As the Rough Riders are going to start. So the Rough Riders get a break. Now let's see if we can capitalize. Of course, the fumble by Aiden Hinkle, resulted in 6 points for Trotwood Madison. Let's see if the Rough Riders now can counter that and put a drive together.
Joe, love the interaction that we get, that we're able to do this live with the audio and then the video rebroadcast. Rich put on an unbelievable highlight last Saturday of the Franklin game, which is 5,500 views and counting. That was just absolutely amazing. And I also just got notification that my nephew Scott says "Go Riders" from Oahu.
Where?
Oahu, Hawaii.
Hawaii?
That
Awesome.
might be the farthest
so far
that we've received.
Absolutely.
We've got to have a European listener somewhere.
Absolutely.
Scott, thanks for the military service and thanks for checking in.
Well, we'd also like to give a big shout out and a big thank you to Dave Ross, the tournament director here in charge of the press box, for allowing us some of the accommodations that we have. And I tell you, according to Dave, it didn't go quite as smoothly as he would have liked, but nonetheless, here we are, and we want to thank him. Well, the Rough Riders, the officials moved the ball back again. Not really sure what that was all about. Carson Fishbach will split wide to the left, though. Give the ball up the middle. We'll see who that is. I think that might be
Ethan Wedding was the ball carrier. He tried to hop over the defender who was down on the ground but got tripped up. Good enough for a gain of about 2, Joe.
Yep.
Second down and 8 from our 22-yard line.
8:36 remaining here in the first half. 7-0 on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. Trotwood Madison on top. Fishbach wide to the left. Quick pitch, it goes to Wedding. Wedding sweeps to the left, and he'll cross the 25, be tackled at the 26-yard line. Clock will continue to run.
Keyshawn Hughley and James Zachary in on the tackle of Ethan there. Gain for about 3, third down and 4 from the 26.
Kurt Bupp, bring him to the line of scrimmage. He'll turn, he'll quick pitch to Wedding. Short side of the field he goes, and he is smoked.
Tell you what, number 7, James Zachary, just put a nice stick on Ethan Wedding. Wedding is able to stay to his feet on that, but that was one heck of a stick by the Rams defender.
Well, nonetheless, the Rough Riders fall short again of getting a first down, so that'll bring on Brandon Bowers again to punt.
You know that's a stick with us having the headphones on, that you can hear the collision.
Yeah. Bowers standing at his own 19-yard line, or 14-yard line. There's the punt. It's a low line drive. It'll be taken by Sammy Anderson, and he falls down.
He called for a fair catch, fell as he was catching it, and the Rams are going to take over again. They're in their territory, but close to the Rough Riders, and this is where the Rough Riders can ill afford Joe to allow any more momentum by the Rams. Right. We've got to stop them and get points on the board because they can just keep going and going, and it's going to be too much of a trail job for us if that's going to happen early.
For Trotwood Madison, they have definitely won the battle of field possession right now as they are getting their first down starts on the 40-yard line, 30-yard line. So I think the Rough Rider defense needs to start them a little bit deeper in the on the field, but
nice
Cooper
fake.
Stewart's on the roll on the fake, and he'll run out of bounds.
That was one of the best fakes that I've seen all season right there. It was a fake to the handoff to Hezekiah Hudson-Davis, and Cooper just kind of tucked it nicely and a little covertly and was able to make a nice little gain of about 7 yards, 2nd down and 3. Crossed over into the Rough Rider territory, Joe.
Well, I think the last time we saw on Trotwood Madison's possession, they used Hezekiah Hudson-Davis a lot. It had some big gains. This time they faked him. I think the Rough Riders defense was focusing a little on him. Stewart just tucked the ball and rolled to his right and picked up good yardage. So it'll be 2nd down and 3 for Trotwood Madison at the Rough Rider 49-yard line. Quick pitch. It'll go to Hudson-Davis. Hudson-Davis breaks the initial line of scrimmage and picks up big yardage, and that kid's quick.
So we've got some nice blocking up front by the Rams. You can see we've got some nice pulling. You're going to see a nice block right there. And when you've got speed and athleticism that you have with Hudson-Davis, that's going to move the chains.
It'll be 1st down and 10 for the Trotwood Madison Rams at the Rough Rider 32-yard line. 6:45 remaining on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard here in the first half. 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left for the Rams. Cooper Stewart under center. Keyshawn Hughley, the fullback. He'll give it to Hudson-Davis. Hudson-Davis to the right, breaks a couple of tackles, breaks the line of scrimmage, and is finally brought down by Blake Knorr. And there's Hunter Fultz at the bottom. But not before he picked up a gain of about 4 on the play. We'll call it 2nd down and 6.
Tanner Howe put a hand on the football, but the Rams were able to keep a hold of it, and it took Fultz and Knorr in order to bring him down. 2nd down and 6 from the Rough Rider 28, just under 6 minutes to go in this first half of action.
Cooper Stewart under center. Hughley, the fullback. Hudson-Davis, they'll turn. Davis will get the ball. He's to the 25-yard line where he's stopped by the Rough Riders. We'll give him a gain of about 3 on the play.
Good stop by the Rough Riders. They're going to have to show that they can do that once again. Joe, just a point of interest if you watch here, wasn't the cleanest handoff right there. Hopefully the Rough Riders can make something happen if the opportunity is given to the Riders, as we already are on the negative side of the turnovers.
5:20 remaining. Clock is running here in the first half on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. Rams will send 2 receivers to the right, 1 to the left. Hughley and Hudson-Davis behind Cooper Stewart. Ball's in the middle of the field. Here comes the Rough Riders. They're going to blitz. Here comes Walters. Just a quick step, give the ball out to number 1. And that happens to be Keontae Hughley. And he'll get the ball all the way down to about the 12-yard line.
Quick pass and just go, and nice block there by the Rams' number 3, Sammy Anderson, and move the chains once again for the Rams. 4:50 and counting, 1st down and 10 from the Rough Riders 12. See whether or not the blue and gold can stop here.
It'll be 1st down and 10, as Doug said. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Hughley and Hudson-Davis in the backfield. Give the ball to Hudson-Davis. He'll swing to the left, and he's missed by Ethan Wedding, but is finally brought down by Tanner Howe.
Great defensive containment, moving with the ball, stepping up, and getting the running back stopped. And
Ty Howell also in on the tackle. We'll give him a gain of a short 1, so we'll call it 2nd down and 9.
A little hesitant there to keep talking because it looks like number 34, Hudson-Davis, got injured on that play, Joe, and he did go off on the sideline. Something with his hand, it looked like he was favoring there.
So in the ball game, replacing him as number 5, Keon Hamilton, will be at tailback. Cooper Stewart flushed out of the pocket. He's going to pull it down and run, and he'll pick up about 3 yards on the play. So Stewart made something out of nothing as he was looking to the end zone.
Got a great view here on the replay. Tanner Howe forces him to go back inside where the host of Rough Riders, Paul and Mabry and Knorr, are in there to get him stopped. But 3rd down and 4. They've only got 7 yards to go before they're putting 6 more points on the board as we're approaching 3 minutes in this first half of action, Joe.
We've got in the backfield, Keyshawn Hughley, the lone setback. Stewart in the shotgun. He's going to step back. He's looking to the right. He's pulled it down. He's flushed. Steps up. He's looking for some receiver. Oh,
there's a
penalty.
flag.
Yep.
And 2.
There's a flag on Ethan Wedding. And
just too premature there.
And here's what's frustrating if you're a head coach. That ball was not catchable. I don't even think it could have been caught. But then Wedding runs into the back of the receiver. He's going to be called for a pass interference call. And it'll move the ball that much closer to the Rough Rider end zone.
Going to go half the distance here.
We're going to place it at about the 3-yard line. So it'll be 3rd down, and we'll call it 2 for Trotwood Madison. 2:53 remaining here in the first half. Trotwood leads on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard 7-0. Play clock is running.
Looks like we've got a sideline warning against the Rough Riders. Rough Rider D has to find some way to come up big here. 3rd down and 1 on their 4-yard line.
Keyshawn Hughley and Keontae Hughley in the backfield. Straight up the middle goes Stewart. And he's going to be close to a 1st down on the quarterback sneak.
Referees are signaling for time to be stopped as it is a 1st down for the Rams. They're going to wind it. It is 1st down and goal from the Rough Rider, 2 yards. Last week they were able to have 2 very nice goal line stands, and we need to see if we can see that replicated again this week, right now, Joe.
Absolutely. Clock is running, 2:29 remaining here in the first half. Keontae and Keyshawn Hughley behind Cooper Stewart. Ball is placed in the middle of the field. Stewart sends a man in motion. Turn, give the ball to Hughley.
Stopped him.
And he's going to be short. Keontae Hughley, the tailback, was the ball carrier. Good defensive line surge by the defensive front for the Rough Riders.
What a great video shot there by our field camera. Man, love being able to bring these great shots to you here from Rider Nation Station.
Blake Knorr, Hunter Foltz, Trace Mabry, Trey Fisher on the defensive line. Hudson Davis back in at tailback. They jumped. There should be a flag.
He's going to get in there, Joe.
Yep. Cooper Stewart.
No signal yet, but
I think
they stopped him.
Trotwood Madison thinks they're in. The officials hold up. It is 3rd down. So they were short. And I'm not so sure.
I'm surprised by it, but we'll take it.
Yeah. So it'll be 3rd down and inches for the Trotwood Madison Rams.
60 seconds to go and counting.
They're going to run it to Hudson.
Step up.
And they stop him. Nice.
What a great defensive pursuit by Tanner Howe.
Wow.
Going to push him back a yard, Joe. And we're going to have a timeout by the Trotwood by the referee.
Yeah, because
we've got an injured player.
And I'm not sure, but it might be Hudson Davis. But I hate to speculate at this point in time. We'll keep an eye on it. While we do that, with the score 7-0, Trotwood on top on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. We'll take a break. We'll come back right after this.
If you're looking to renovate your home, former Rough Rider football standout Craig Hewer is your go-to man. Hewer Renovating is an all-phase residential specialist with over 40 years experience and an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Improve your investment by giving Hewer Renovating a call at 419-394-8643.
Auglaze Equipment Rental is your source for all your equipment needs. Whether you're a contractor or a homeowner with a project, we can help get the job done more efficiently. Check us out at 1900 Salina Road or auglazeequipmentrental.com or just call 419-394-7883. Auglaze Equipment Rental. Varsity Lanes, home of the Rough Riders 2018-19 Boys and Girls State Bowling Champions. Striking up delicious food, 32 taps, Queen of Hearts, and nightly food and drink specials with a great family atmosphere. Carry out is available. Stop in and see us after the game. Go Riders! Unique Awards and Signs, here to take care of your signage, graphic award, and gift customization needs. From banners for your graduate or corporate sponsors to awards recognizing those dedicated employees or champion sport teams. Stop in at 1865 Salina Road or call us at 419-394-1612.
Well, I'm not really sure who the injured player is as we come back to Sidney Memorial Stadium. I think it's Hudson Davis. And, of course, I bring my binoculars one time this year, and I don't bring them again, and we need them. But
so now we do have a timeout by the Rams, Joe. 43.9 seconds to go. And the Rough Riders could do it again and have that impressive goal line stand. It's 4th down and 2 from the 2-yard line.
Well, we're going to give them a loss of about 1 on the play. Keep in mind the nose of the football was just inches from the Rough Rider goal line. It is now back into pretty much a full 2 yards for Trotwood to find the end zone. So we'll keep it right here as we have 43 seconds remaining. Anna trails in their ball game. Of course, you have to take the Evelyn Wood speed reading class to read the scores on the scoreboard. I saw that, but I think they're down by 1, 14-13. If we get a chance, we'll see what Hamilton Baden and Kettering Alder is. Last we had, it was Hamilton Baden winning in that contest.
Can't impress upon the listeners and viewers how important this is. They did it twice last week, folks. Can they do it again? 4th and 2 from the 2-yard line. Let's see what the Rough Rider D has.
Here we go. Cooper Stewart will go under center. Hughley and Hughley behind him at fullback and tailback. 4th and a long 2 for the Rams. Snap. We'll give the call. Give it to Hughley, and he stopped him. Make it.
They stopped him, Joe. That's a Hughley play right there. Unbelievable, Joey.
So another defensive goal line stand by the Rough Rider defense.
I wish I could have seen who made that initial contact to get him tripped up before the ball went over the goal line, and it's close. It's close. Unbelievable,
Yep.
Joe. 2 last week, 1 right there. Come on, Rough Riders. That's the momentum you needed. Let's see what we can do.
Well, he was inches away as they set the ball just about 6 inches from the goal line. So another goal line stand by this Rough Rider defense.
And this is dangerous territory for us.
It is.
We've got to execute perfectly just to move that ball forward, keep the clock moving.
Well, we'll see if Kurt Bupp goes on the sneak, and he does. And he'll move it out about a yard.
And I think we'll be done.
I don't think we're going to be in any hurry to run another play as the clock winds down. 28 seconds remaining here in the first half.
I'd like to give a shout out to my friends listening from Schweiderman Pharmacy, St. Mary's. They say, go Riders.
Again, if you happen to be listening wherever you may be, on your phone or on your computer at home, and down in the comment section, type in where you're listening to this ball game from. We'd enjoy hearing from you, passing it along as well. Of course, we got one listener from Hawaii.
Joe, I've got one, Julius Fisher, tuning in from New Jersey. And also listening from Gatlinburg, Tennessee, is the guy who's must have the greatest contract in the world to be able to miss as many games as he had and still stay on the staff.
Who negotiates this contract?
Well, he must have written it, and I must not have paid any attention to it. So, Zach, thanks for tuning in. Enjoy your time in Gatlinburg, and hurry back.
Well, that's the end of the first half with the score. The Trotwood Madison Rams 7, the St. Mary's Rough Riders nothing. On the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard, we'll take a break. We'll come back with our halftime right after this.
Do you find yourself faced with injustice or confronted with a legal matter that you need help resolving? If so, call attorney David Walbacher at 216-225-9181. That's attorney David Walbacher for all your legal needs.
Here to help make life go right is your local Good Neighbor State Farm agent, Laura Yelton, with 30 years experience. Visit Laura and her team located in downtown St. Mary's for your auto, home, banking, and life insurance needs. Be a legend. Insure your life.
Fellowship of Christian Athletes is a middle school and high school club looking to spread God's love throughout numerous schools and communities of our local area. FCA's favorite play of the game is both teams joining together in prayer at the conclusion of the game. God bless you, sports fans.
Where is that TSC bill? How can I pay it if I can't find it?
You don't need the bill. You can pay it online at telcirco.com.
Wasn't there a special this month?
Yes, we got it from TSC's Facebook page.
I know I've got the announcement for the club here somewhere.
I just sent it to TSC to air on Channel 2. With telcirco.com, Facebook, Channel 2, and their newsletter, TSC makes it easy to stay connected.
Now, if they could just help me clean up my desk.
It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
Alrighty, we welcome you back once again to Sidney Memorial Stadium. Joe Hurlbert alongside Doug Spencer. Zach Farrell has the night off as he spends it in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. I hope his weather down there is a little bit better than what we have here. But it is a nice night for football considering it is November. We had a little bit of snow earlier in the week, but the field is in an excellent playing condition. The seats are a little bit snow covered and the aisles are a little bit slippery as well, but nonetheless, just a good atmosphere here tonight for this Division III Regional 12 semifinal game. Before we take a look at the stats in the first half, let's take a look at some of the other games around the area, around the state of Ohio in Division III regional semifinal action. Up in Region 9, it's number 1 New Philadelphia. They come in with a record of 10-1. They're taking on the number 4 seed Aurora with 11-0 record. They're playing at Canton South Stadium tonight. They will play the winner. Well, the winner of that game will take on the winner of the Streetsboro Ball Club. They're 11-0. They're seeded number 2. They'll take on the number 6 seed Chardon. They're 9-2 at Solon Stewart Field. Over in Region 10, Norwalk, the number 1 seed at 9-2, is taking on the number 5 seed Sandusky at 8-3 at Bellevue First National Bank Field. And then in the other semifinal game in Region 10, it's the number 2 seed Mansfield Senior at 10-1. They'll be taking on the number 6 seed Parma Heights Holy Name at 9-2. They are playing their contest at Wooster Fallis Field. And of course in Region 11, the number 1 seed Columbus Bishop Hartley at 10-1 is taking on the number 4 seed Granville at 10-1. They're playing that ball game at Pataskala Watkins Memorial Ascena Field. And the other semifinal game in Region 11 is number 2 seed Plain City Jonathan Alder. They're 11-0, and they're taking on Jackson at 11-0. That ball game is being played at Asheville Tays Valley Viking Stadium. And then the other Regional 12 semifinal game, which will be that winner will take on the winner of this contest. It's Kettering Archbishop Alder, the number 8 seed at 7-4, taking on the Hamilton Baden Rams, the number 4 seed. They are 8-3. And they are playing that contest at Monroe Hornet Stadium. So those are the other regional semifinal games in Division III taking place tonight around the state of Ohio. I want to remind you, if you want to travel a short distance tomorrow in our listening area, well, I can't say that anymore because I don't think the people in Hawaii want to travel to Grand Lake Health System Field. But tomorrow night, the Marion Local Flyers will take on the Fort Laramie Redskins at Grand Lake Health Systems Field at the Rough Rider Athletic Complex in St. Mary's. That should match up to be a good ball game.
And that's only if you're listening to the live audio. If you're watching us on TSC,
forget it.
The game's not going to be there. and that, it is a little interesting, Joe, of what we're trying to accomplish here of, doing a radio broadcast live and also doing the video rebroadcast. So sometimes if you're watching this on the replay and saying, you guys don't make any sense because you're talking about the present. That's why, because we are actually dropping the audio live as the game is going on the YouTube channel, Rider Nation Station.
And one of the things that's a little bit different from doing it via the Rider Nation Station as opposed to radio, you only get a certain mile of radius. So people beyond that can't hear anything. This broadcast on Rider Nation Station has the potential to go all around the world.
It really does, and just before we went to the Hewer Renovating commercial break, Dustin Collins checked in from Columbus. So we've got people in Ohio, we've got people in New Jersey and Tennessee, and definitely Hawaii. So it'd be interesting as this game evolves to see where we all do have our listeners checking in from. So if you're listening, go ahead in the comment section and let us know where you are tuning in from. Again, that's the live audio.
We're going to take a break, hear from our friends at Hewer Renovating. We'll come back, and Doug will have the statistics in the first half. When we come back, you're listening to the Rough Riders Trotwood Madison Division 12 Regional Semifinal game on Rider Nation Station. With the score, the Trotwood Madison Rams 7, St. Mary's Rough Riders nothing on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. We'll be back right after this. If you're looking to renovate your home, former Rough Rider football standout Craig Hewer is your go-to man. Hewer Renovating is an all-phase residential specialist with over 40 years experience and an A-plus Better Business Bureau rating. Improve your investment by giving Hewer Renovating a call at 419-394-8643. That's 419-394-8643, Hewer Renovating. All righty, we're back at Sidney Memorial Stadium. Joe Herbert alongside Doug Spencer and the St. Mary's Memorial All Brass Marching Band performing here for the fans that have made their way and battled the weather, if you will. Although it's not too bad. A little bit of wind coming out of the northeast, but other than that, it's a good night for football.
It's not the 84 degrees and sunny that Scott checked into us with, but it really is an ideal environment for football, other than the treacherous slipperiness that people had to endure as they were trying to get up and down the stands. But as I said earlier, weather conditions are perfect no matter what if you're playing in November.
Absolutely. Well, here, take a look at the statistics in the first half. Once again, here's Doug.
All righty, Joe, thanks. These stats brought to you by Hewer Renovating. If you're looking to renovate your home, former Rough Rider football standout Craig Hewer is your go-to man. Improve your investment by giving Hewer Renovating a call, 419-394-8643. In the rushing department, we've got number 6, Ethan Wedding, has had 5 rushes. He's accumulated 21 yards, a long of 8. He's averaging 4.2 per carry. Aiden Hinkle, number 3, has 5 rushes. He's garnered 10 yards. His long is 5. He has an average of 2 yards. Kurt Bupp, 5 rushes. He's got negative 2 yards, and his long was 9. Statisticians will let you know that when you're sacked, and he was sacked twice, which was quite unfortunate, Joey, because that took us out of a great scoring opportunity in the first series that we had. Absolutely. So he has an average of negative 0.4 yards per rush. Ty Howe, 4 rushes, 27 yards, a long of 18, an average of 6.8 yards per carry. And Ross Henshin has come in. He has 4 rushes, 20 yards, 10 is his long, and he has 5 yards per carry. In the passing department for the Rough Riders, Kurt Bupp has only had 1 attempt. It fell incomplete, and that was in the end zone. His intended target was number 85, Austin Parks, and because of a great defensive play by number 3, Sammy Anderson, coming from that safety position to knock that ball away, kept us from having 6 points on the board, and Kurt 0 for 1. Taking a look at the Trotwood Madison Rams, their workhorse, number 34, Hezekiah Hudson Davis, 9 rushes, 56 yards. He's got a long of 17, 6.2 yards per carry. And, Joe, that's something that we want to keep an eye on as the third quarter starts. He's gone out twice with an injury, and the first time it looked like a hand injury from across the field with my vision. So don't know if that's quite the case, but then he went out a second time, and we will see whether or not he's able to make it back into the lineup for the Rams. Number 12, the quarterback, Cooper Stewart, 6 rushes, 18 yards. He has a long of 7. He's got 3 yards per carry. Number 1, Keontae Hughley, 2 rushes, 2 yards, long of 1. That statistically equals to 1 yard per carry, Joe. Kayshawn Hughley, 1 rush for 24 yards. Would you like to do the average on that one?
Go ahead.
24 yards per carry. And Justin Johnson He has 1 rush, 0 yards, and 0 yards per carry. In the passing department, Cooper Stewart, number 12, has 4 completions out of 6 attempts, 43 yards, has a long of 17 yards, 67% completion, 0 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. His target has been number 1, Keontae Hughley. He's been thrown to 3 times. He has caught it 3 times, has 26 yards, a long of 13, 8.7 yards per catch. Sammy Anderson has been thrown to 1 time. He caught it. 17 yards was that reception. And he also has thrown to his other favorite target, Carl Blanton Jr., twice, 0 catches. So that is the offensive statistics for the Trotwood Madison Rams. And looking overall at the team statistics with the Sidney Memorial Stadium scoreboard, which is a St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard, reading 7 for Trotwood, 0 for St. Mary's. The Trotwood Rams scored their touchdown in the second quarter and were denied a second touchdown with that impressive defensive goal line stand by the Rough Riders. The Rough Riders have 5 first downs to the Trotwood Madison 8 first downs. First downs for St. Mary's 4 have been by rushing, 0 by passing, 1 by penalty. For Trotwood, 6 rushing, 2 passing, 0 by penalty. Rushing attempts, St. Mary's 23, Trotwood Madison 19. St. Mary's has garnered a net rushing yard of 76, where Trotwood Madison has 100 yards in the books for the first half. Yards per rush, St. Mary's 3.3 and Trotwood Madison 6.3. Longest rush for the Rough Riders has been 18 yards, for the Rams 24 yards. 0 rushing touchdowns for the Rough Riders, 1 for the Rams. Passing yards, 0 for St. Mary's, 43 for the Rams. And total offensive plays for St. Mary's, 24. Outdone by 1 by the Rams, 25. Total net yards, again, St. Mary's 76, all by the ground, 143 by the Rams. So, Joe, there you have the Hewer Renovating halftime statistics. If you're looking to renovate your home, former Rough Rider football standout Craig Hewer is your go-to man. Hewer Renovating is an all-phase residential specialist with over 40 years experience and an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Improve your investment by giving Hewer Renovating a call, 419-394-8643.
The Trotwood Madison High School Marching Band performing for this crowd here at Sidney Memorial Stadium. Of course, the St. Mary's Memorial All-Brass Marching Band is down to our right, and none of them have left to go to the concession stand, but they are enjoying the performance by the Trotwood Madison Band.
And just as their football team has few in numbers compared to the Rough Riders, the Trotwood Madison Rams also does as well. I would just throw out a quick guess that maybe there's maybe about 30 members, if that are participating. But what a great sound
they do
coming out of the few band members from Trotwood.
Well, I'll pass along a couple of scores that I do have, and then we're going to get into a little bit of discussion, Doug and I will, about what it takes just to put on a broadcast such as tonight's game between Trotwood and the St. Mary's Rough Riders. In Region 11, Plain City Jonathan Alder, as I mentioned, comes in with a record of 11-0. They're taking on the number 3 seed Jackson at 11-0. And Plain City Jonathan Alder leads in that contest by a score of 14-6. Up at Monroe Hornet Stadium, it's Hamilton Baden, the number 4 seed in Region 12, 17. Kettering Archbishop Alder, the 8th seed, 7. And Anna and Fairview doing battle tonight, and they are tied at 20-20. So a lot of games going on around the state of Ohio, not only in Division III, but in other divisions as well. Well, we talked before I gave you the scores about what it takes, Doug, just to actually put on a broadcast such as this. Not only just the audio, but also the video, which is a little bit more intensive. to say the least.
To say the least, yeah. If we were just so everybody understands what it does take to put this on, if we were just bringing the live audio, we'd probably come here maybe about a half hour before we go on the air and basically take our headsets and get our computer and get connected to YouTube, and we're good. However, we love to bring you the video rebroadcast, and it takes a lot more time, effort, energy, and manpower to get this brought to you. And so we load up the RV, and for those of you that are listening, next year you're going to see the Rider Nation Station ambulance that will have all of the equipment in it and everything already set up, and it will be a little bit of a time saver for us there. So look forward to that Rider Nation Station ambulance to be out and about next year for our broadcast. But we load up the RV, and we left from St. Mary's at 4 p.m., arrived here promptly at 4:30, met with Dave Ross, who has been a wonderful host, making things happen for us the way that we needed to. And we start unloading, and we run cable, and we run more cable, and we run more cable. So we obviously have to have video cable. We've got 2 camera shots from up top. We have one on the field. And so we've got the video cable running to that. Each one of our cameramen have headsets, so we've got to run the 5-pin cable, audio cable, so that they can communicate with the RV, with the truck, in order to get the right shots that we're after and make whatever corrections. Then for us to be able to communicate, we've got to run all of the XLR cables from the 45-yard line view that we have right now, run those out the window and down the back side of the stadium, where we run it in through the cables and through a window of the RV, and then it gets connected up to a bunch of stuff that I'm not even going to pretend to know what it gets hooked up to. But thankfully, our producer and the brains behind this operation, my brother Rich Spencer, makes all that magic happen. And we've got a replay gadget. That's as technical as I'll get. That allows us to be able to bring you the replays after every play. And all of this said and done, by the time that we actually go on the air at 6:45, we have been working since 4:30 to get it all set up. And the way that it works, everything is finalized about 6:44 and 30 seconds, and my brother has about 30 seconds of respite time before this gets produced. So what an unbelievable undertaking. We've got the 2 commentators, and then it takes 6 people to make this happen. So hopefully this gives you a little bit of an idea and taste of what Rider Nation Station does do to be able to bring this game to you. So it might as well take the time right now to identify who is all helping tonight. Mentioned earlier with the great video shots that we have down on the field, we've got Scott Anderson. Up top with the wide-angle view is Logan Yelton, and then up top right next to that with the tight view is Eric Anderson. Then in the truck we have we had to bring in a ringer because Zach left us and Jim Swigert wasn't available, and so I got to put on the headset, and so Scott Daringer, your son-in-law, is getting his first taste of Rider Nation Station help, and he's there probably mixing would be my guess, and running the replays is my great friend Dave Wabacher, and then calling all the shots and making everything happen, like I said before, is Rich Spencer. Just one other thing I want to highlight, Joe, is if it wasn't for our sponsors, absolutely zero way that we could do this. Yes, it's fun for us, but not that fun to do it. And, the RV, I calculated when I filled it up, and I hadn't driven it since we came back from Franklin. It got us 5 miles to the gallon, so that's a fuel expense. And then we had to write a check to OHSAA to be able to rebroadcast this game for $175, and the crew likes to get paid, and this just could not happen if we didn't have the great sponsors that we do, and the support has just been phenomenal. And when I texted to say, hey, we're going to do the Trotwood St. Mary's game, are you guys in? And I sent it via text and email, and it was just bam, 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 bam. Yep, we're in as far as we go. So that was great to hear. Again, thank you to all the sponsors for making Rider Nation Station happen.
Well, hopefully if things go accordingly and after the season's over and we're all said and done, we'll sit down and we'll brainstorm and see what we're going to possibly do next year. Of course, Doug talked about the ambulance we'll be using as our production vehicle that'll travel with us. But how many games will we do? That'll be yet to be determined. But if you're interested in becoming a sponsor, and I'll tell you what, we can't do it without them. And, of course, I think, to be honest with you, we got a late jump. We appreciate those that jumped on board. But next year, if you're interested, we're going to start a little bit earlier in the summer, maybe around July, maybe even into June, about putting our sponsorship together. If you are interested, text Doug Spencer or make a comment in the comment box that you're interested, and I'm sure he'll be glad to contact you.
Absolutely, and Rider Nation Station at gmail.com is an effective way of communicating with us as well. And Joe, we're going to pick back up our vodcast sometime this winter. Probably in December, mid-December, we're going to reveal the schedule of who we're going to be interviewing and overlaying video and pictures of the stories that they have to tell about our great city. We love to capture the history, the culture, the lore, and I just have so much fun with those and have learned so much. It's been unbelievable, and if you haven't tuned into those, just go to the Rider Nation Station YouTube channel. You can catch them on Facebook. You have to scroll backwards, obviously, in order to find them, but you can find stories from John Andreoni growing up on Spring Street to Mike Lynch talking about the day that Barry Manilow put on a wonderful concert at McBroom Gymnasium. Absolutely. You can find out about Dr. Don Thomas, who is one of the world's leading experts on lupus and rheumatoid arthritis. And we just did one this week, which will be coming out later on Mava with the Dance Center, who got started 60 years ago in 1959 at the Armory in St. Mary's. So all kinds of great stories to tell, and a thank you to those sponsors for helping us get things started, because that truly was our only intent.
Right.
And then when our good friends at TSC inquired whether or not we would want to take on this endeavor, and it took my brother and I about 2 months to say yes, because we've both done this through Memorial Television, know how much fun it can be, and also how stressful and things can definitely go wrong, and they do when you do something like this. But here we are, and it's about time to kick off the second half, Joe.
Well, there's a little bit of insight about what it takes for Rider Nation Station to bring you this broadcast, not only the audio but the video as well, which you can see this ball game replayed starting Monday on TSC TV, channel 702 and 13.1. The Rough Riders will kick off to start the second half, and this kickoff is being brought to you by your State Farm agent, Laura Yelton. Be a legend. Ensure your life.
And thanks to Fred Davis for checking in from Toledo, Ohio, Joe.
Back to return the kickoff is Sammy Anderson. He'll be standing at about the 9-yard line, as I believe Spencer Troglin will do the kicking off. So here we go. Quarter number 3, Riders trail in the ball game, 7-0. There's the kick. It'll be taken by Anderson. He's to the 20, to the 25, to the 30, to the 35, to the 39, maybe the 40-yard line where he is brought down. Brandon Paul's over there. Lucas Walters over there as well. That's my nephew. That's my brother Steve. He's in Spokane, Washington, listening tonight. So we're saying hey to Jordan Hurlbert out in Spokane, Washington.
Well, the defense came up huge right before the end of the first half. They need to do it again as the Rams take possession of the ball.
Hughley on the carry. Right up the middle. We'll give him a gain of about 5 on the play. The one thing that the Rough Riders need to do, and we didn't see it much in the first half, is the offense has to get unleashed.
Yep.
They put together that long drive.
They did.
They shot themselves in the foot and wasn't able to recover, but they need a drive and a couple of scores.
Joe, I'm not seeing Hezekiah Hudson-Davis out there on the field the first play nor this play, so we'll have to keep an eye on what that situation is for the Rams.
Keyshawn Hughley's the ball carrier. He'll go off the left side, and he is stuffed.
Big stick. But he's still able to spin and wrap out of that and get an extra couple yards out of that initial big stick. Hopefully the replay is going to show who had the initial contact for the Rough Riders. Boom, Tanner Howe.
It'll be 3rd down and short, and, boy, that's going to be close when it's all said and done.
Wingmen are right on the 50-yard line, but they are pointing to move the chains,
yep,
Joe.
They are. So he got enough for a first down. It was 3rd and short, and Cooper Stewart kept it on the quarterback sneak. They pick up the first down, so it is 1st down and 10 at the 50-yard line. This is kind of interesting, too, because you see the football. You would think it would be 49, but it's not actually to the 49 unless it crosses, so it's going to be marked at the 50-yard line. 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. Hughley in motion. They're going to give the ball to Hughley. He's going to sweep to the left.
Trey Fisher.
And he's eventually run out of bounds by Trey Fisher, but he'll gain about 3 on the play.
Trey Fisher had that initial contact and held onto that jersey so he couldn't escape. The one thing that you notice, all of the running backs do not go down on that first initial hit, Joe.
No.
There he is, pulling the jersey.
So it'll bring down second down and 7. The ball is on the 47-yard line now with the St. Mary's Rough Riders. Anna now leads Fairview 27-20. Cooper Stewart under center. 3 receivers to the right, 2 to the left. He's going to stand up and he's going to throw it out to Keyshawn Hughley.
Got a penalty.
Flag.
We're going to get a holding call there, or maybe hand in the mask.
Check that. That was Keontae Hughley on the reception, but it's going to be
a hold back.
Holding?
Yep.
There's
yep,
your,
he's got,
there's
he
your
got
hold.
a hold of him.
He's got a little bit of Dylan Troglin's jersey, so that'll march him back.
Good camera shot of the white hat, giving the official indication of the infraction. We really need to have a nice defensive stop here, get the ball back. It seems like an eternity since the Rough Riders had the ball, Joe.
Absolutely. So it'll be 2nd down, and we'll call it 10. The ball is at the Rough Rider 49-yard line. Cooper Stewart in the shotgun. 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Calls his signals. Stands up, and he's looking for Hughley. Keontae makes Fishbach miss, and he runs down the sideline. So he made Fishbach and Ty Howell miss and picks up enough for a first down.
Yeah, Carson Fishbach may have been the second one who missed, and Howe eventually gets him out. One.
Yeah.
Eventually gets him driven out.
We'll
just kind of sat in the pocket soft there, or in the zone there soft, and catches it, and he initially knew that he was going to spin and go the other way.
1st down and 10, ball at the Rider 35-yard line. Stewart all by himself. He's going to take the ball and go back up the middle. He'll pick up about 6 on the play.
Deep flag coming in. We've got the 6-man crew. And it's going to go against us with a face mask, it appears, Joe. That's not what we needed.
Nope.
Personal foul.
No, it's going to be offense.
That is what we needed. So, hand up inside of the face?
Yep, hand to the face. So it'll move the ball back. Well, that's a big penalty. That's 15 yards.
Joe's, we got a little time here. Greg Broyles giving us a shout-out for doing a great job, and we would like to see the original sketch of the Rough Rider. Absolutely. Send that forward. Bev Hurlbert says, Mike Hayes, Len Bupp's brother, is listening in Florence, Italy.
Get out.
We found Europe.
That is awesome. Cooper Stewart is going to go deep.
Oh my gosh,
he's all the way alone by himself.
49-yard strike there was
Carl
nobody
Blanton.
within 6-7 yards.
Nope, Carl
got
Blanton
way
Jr.
behind our defenders,
Yes,
Joe.
he did. So Carl Blanton Jr. just flat out ran a streak down the sideline. He's all alone. He catches it about the 18 and takes it into the end zone for another Ram touchdown. And it's 13-0 on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard.
Goes without saying, definite confusion by the defensive backfield there, and that allowed for Blanton Jr. to get behind and make an easy catch and an easy run into the pay dirt to make it 13-0.
Carter Mims will try the point after touchdown out of the hold of. Whoa. We got a flag on the play. I think Lucas Walter crossed the line, across the plane. Got into the neutral zone. He did.
This will be interesting to see whether or not they're going to kick it or they're going to go for the 2-point conversion now, Joe. The official is talking with Coach Graham, seeing what they want to do. Offsides is the call. It's going to be declined, so they're just going to go for the point after touchdown attempt. Make it 14-0 is their hope.
Carter Mims will attempt the point after touchdown after they decline the encroachment on the defense. Cooper Stewart will hold. The ball will be placed at the 10-yard line. There's the snap. It's a high snap, and it is up, and it is good. Wasn't the prettiest point after I've seen in a long time, but the results were good. And with 9:20 remaining here in the third quarter, with a score on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard, the Trotwood Madison Rams 14, the St. Mary's Rough Riders nothing. We'll be back right after this.
Even though the music on the patio has come to an end, Guarneri's would like to thank everyone for joining them on the patio on Friday nights. Though the music has ended, stop in and try their signature Big Ralph sub, pizza, or calzone. Guarneri's on Spring Street in St. Mary's. Give them a call at 419-394-2244.
Vogel's Bake Shop, making thousands of fresh donuts daily. Open 7 days a week with stores in St. Mary's, Salina, and Walpock. Also now found in Wagner's IGA in New Bremen, Minster, and Fort Laramie.
If you're in the market to buy or sell a home, your job is made easy with Scott Ross Realty. Contact one of their hardworking, well-trained agents today at 419-305-4373 for all of your home buying and selling needs. Scott Ross Realty, wishing all Rough Rider sports good luck.
Back at Sydney Memorial Stadium, Doug Spencer along with Joe Hurlbert. This kickoff return is being brought to you by your State Farm agent, Laura Yelton. Be a legend, ensure your life. Short kick taken by Ethan Wedding, and he'll get it to the St. Mary's 37-yard line.
10-yard return by Ethan Wedding. Kind of a bullet that was kicked to him, and he caught it on the 27 and made a nice 10-yard run. Rough Rider O has to put together something quick here and get points on the board.
First time the Rough Riders will have the ball here in the second half. 9:15 remaining in the third quarter. We'll turn and we'll give the ball to Howe. He's going to sweep to the left. He's got an opening. He's down the sideline to the 50. Cuts back across midfield. Still spinning, still going. He'll be brought down at the Trotwood Madison 38-yard line. So a good run by Ty Howe.
23 yards and moved the chains, and looks like St. Mary's O is going to be speeding things up here. Yep. Getting back to the huddle quick, getting the play in, and trying to get momentum.
Getting to the line of scrimmage quick. Here comes Henchen. We got a flag on the play.
May not have been set for before the snap.
It'll go against the Rough Riders, I do believe. I think it's going to be a 5-yard penalty. We'll see.
Sideline warning. against the Rough Riders. So that was the second.
Yep.
So the first one's a freebie. The second one's going to cost you 5.
It did. So it'll bring up second down, and we'll call it 13 for the Rough Riders. The ball at their own 42-yard line. Full house backfield. Give the ball to Troglin. Troglin to the right. He is not going to get the corner as he is brought down by number 3. That's Sammy Anderson, who came up from his cornerback position to make the stop.
He's quick, but he's not as quick as that defensive surge as they kept pushing out with the sweep and were able to grab a hold of him and swing him down. Joe, obviously, 3rd and 16, you may expect a pass play, but the last 2 pass attempts that we had took us out of any scoring possibility. So if we're going to get it done, we need to do it quick because they came after us hard.
Yeah, the Rough Riders right now shot themselves in a foot. We'll see if they can get out of it. We're going to do a halfback pass. House going to go deep to Troglin, and it is intercepted. Intercepted by Keontae Hughley.
And not a simple interception.
No, it was not. It was a nice one-handed catch.
Bobbled it a couple times as he's falling to his back. He's just smothers that into his chest. And we have another Rough Rider turnover, and it's going to be 1st down and 10 from the Rams' 14-yard line.
Well, the Rough Riders trying to do a halfback pass to see if they could keep the Trotwood-Madison defense, catch them off guard. That wasn't the case. Good defense there by Anderson. Stayed step for step with Troglin.
Well, Joe, you ready for this one? We just heard it from Florence, Italy.
Yep.
Now we're hearing from Adam Childs on State Route 66 in St. Mary's.
It doesn't get any better than that, does it? That's 8:01 remaining here in the 3rd quarter.
They just went straight to Hughley.
Keontae Hughley takes the ball of a direct snap from center, and he'll pick up a gain of about, we'll call it about 6 on the play. We'll call it 2nd down and 4.
And Mike Haney checked in Pennsylvania.
Good.
So lots of listeners checking in from all across the globe to Rider Nation Station.
Who checked in from Florence, Italy?
That would be Lynn Bupp's brother, Mike Hayes.
Okay. Awesome. Hughley. And the ball's on the ground. Hughley's going to pick it up, and he's going to throw it. He's looking deep, and it's incomplete.
Incomplete, knocked out of the intended receiver's hands by Carson Fishbach, intended for Carl Blanton Jr. So not real certain what's going on here with Keontae Hughley taking the direct snaps, and it was a bad snap, but it was still a pass play. He threw it deep, and great the defensive recovery by Carson Fishbach to knock that ball out of Carl Blanton Jr.'s hands. So Joe will have to take a look and see what Cooper Stewart's situation might be for the Rams, the starting quarterback. And looks like he just checked back in.
I think he's back in. Yep, so Cooper Stewart will be back in after missing the previous 2 plays.
Coach Graham just wanted to give a different look.
And
3rd down and 1. Big play, got a penalty as well. It's going to stop the play. Hopefully push the Rams backwards. Illegal procedure is what appears to be the phone call.
We're going to move it back 5. 7:43
I think I just said
remaining.
The phone call.
7:43 remaining here in the 3rd quarter on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. 14-0, Trotwood Madison on top. Where the Rough Riders just have not been able to muster any type of momentum offensively at all.
Sometimes you need a, like we talked earlier, Trotwood to make that mistake to allow us to get back into this, and let's hope that we see something here. 3rd and 6.
Stewart to Hughley. Hughley gets the 1st down, and he's stopped by Ty Howe, but not before he picks up good gain.
It's so hard to defend them, Joe, in the pass. We're sitting about 5 yards deep, but they are so quick.
Yep.
We don't want to, again, have them get behind a defensive backfield, and also knowing that as soon as they catch it, they're going to turn and they're going to be sprinting pretty quickly. So he just sat there in the soft zone and made the catch, made the 1st down, and they've got 4 fresh downs from their 32-yard line.
Keontae Hughley will take the direct snap from center. Not really sure where Cooper Stewart is. He might be split wide to the left, and he is. Here's Hughley to the 50-yard line. Good run by Hughley. It'll be a first down as he crosses into St. Mary's territory. The ball will be placed at the St. Mary's 48-yard line. 6:56 remaining. Clock has stopped. Now it's running. Yeah, Cooper Stewart lined up in the slot. He was, I believe, the second receiver out from the line of scrimmage as Hughley took the direct snap and just tucked it and ran toward the right and picked up good yardage. It'll be Cooper Stewart all by himself. He's got a man in motion. He'll give the ball to Keontae Hughley, and he'll run out of bounds. That's
nice
Keyshawn.
play by number 43, Brandon Paul. It still gets a little bit of gain out of that, but nice read by Brandon Paul, as you see there. Goes low, runs him out of bounds.
Well, I'll tell you what, they are just hard to bring down. Obviously, it takes more than one defensive player to bring them down. All right, we've got three receivers to the left, two to the right. Cooper Stewart in the shotgun. Ball on the right hash, sends a man in motion. Ooh, give the ball to number 11. That's Justin Johnson. Johnson to the 40. We'll give him a gain of about 5 on the play.
And Joe, they're just running all kinds of different options with us, meaning players.
Yeah.
And they're giving us different looks at the quarterback position, different running backs, and they've used a trio of receivers. They are just a tough team to defend.
Yep. Wyland McCollum in the ball game on that last particular play. He's in on this one as well. He'll line up at the left defensive tackle position. Here again, Keontae Hughley will take the direct snap from center. He's got a man in motion, Keyshawn Hughley.
He turns.
And he goes right up the middle with it. And it'll be close to a first down, but he's going to be, I think, about a half a yard short. But I thought the man in motion turned his shoulders toward the line of scrimmage.
I thought it became a little Canadian Football League right there, but he got away with it. And see on this replay if he indeed did. He indeed did.
5:12 remaining. Stewart under center, and I tell you what, that was motion too. I thought the fullback jumped a little bit before the snap, but nonetheless it was not called, and Stewart on a quarterback sneak. We'll see if he's picked up the first down.
That was definite aiding the runner, pushing right in the numbers of Cooper Stewart. Again, we got some check-ins. We've got Jeff Ehlers listening in from Otterbein and St. Mary's with Jim and Martha Bamer, and Adam Hirschfeld from Hilliard, Ohio. Thanks again. The only way this is going to work is the sponsors that we have and the listeners and the viewers taking a look and taking a listen at what we are producing.
Three receivers to the right, to the left for Trotwood Madison. Johnson in motion. They fake to him. He's looking deep. Stewart.
Get him, Blake.
Get him, Blake. He went down. Yeah, his knee went down. That's why he kind of gave up trying to elude the tackle of Blake Knorr.
So we got a sack by Blake Knorr. You'll see here. Kind of strange.
There's the knee down.
I don't know if the officials saw it. As Mark Sisko talks about in one of our shows, Rules of the Game, the whistle is doing nothing but confirming the play is indeed over. And the quarterback knew that it was over. I don't know that many of the defenders did.
And the thing about it is that he's in a vulnerable position. He's on his knee.
He could have taken a whale of a shot right there.
Because the defensive player is going to play till he hears the whistle. All right. Keontae Hughley, direct snap again. They've got Cooper Stewart, second man out. It's going to be Hughley, and he's run out of bounds. Good job by the Rough Rider defense there. Give him a gain of about 4. Clock is stopped with 3:38 remaining here in the third quarter.
As you're watching this replay, watch the polling number 65 against Wyland McCollum. Good size offensive lineman, and he's got a little bit of speed as he's pulling and making things happen for the Rams. offensive backs.
You say that. Dylan Booker, 6'3", 280 pounds.
Big down for the Rough Riders. 3rd and 19 from the Rough Rider 47.
Clock has stopped at 3:38. Stewart stands up. He's looking deep. He's flush from the pocket. Rolls to his right, and he's going to look, and Dylan Troglin has to go right off his shoulder pad.
That was a strange circumstance there. That ball kind of hung up there. Oh, we've got a penalty right on the 50-yard line, Joe. 2 referees are conferring. We've got a hold. We're going to more than likely decline that and put the Rams in a punt situation. Coach Fry just did indicate to the wingman that it is going to be declined. White Hat making that known to the press box and to the home side fans. And here we go. Watch this. Just number 4 got ran out of bounds, and Dylan Troglin just kind of turned around a split second too late. Otherwise, he would have had a pick.
Dylan Troglin and Ty Howell back to receive this punt from Dominic Reese.
And his punts have been line drives, getting to Howell quickly. Let's see if we can have a special team score here.
He takes about a half a step. High punt, fair catch called by Howell at the 20-yard line. So the Rough Riders will have it 1st and 10 at their own 20-yard line. 3:31 remaining here in the third quarter.
Joe, I've got to step aside and go do something technical for a second, and I'll be right back.
I will be here. St. Mary's Rough Riders will have the football 1st and 10 at their own 21-yard line. 3:31 remaining here in the third quarter from Sidney Memorial Stadium, the site of this Division III Region 12 semifinal game. Counterback, it goes to Ty Howell. He'll pick up about 4 on the play. And we'll give him a gain of about 3. We'll call it 2nd down and 7. The ball will be placed at the St. Mary's 24-yard line. 3 minutes remaining here in the in the third quarter. Bup to Henson. Henson on the trap play up the middle. A little gain. Give him a gain of a couple. We'll call it 2nd down and 5 for the Rough Riders.
Injured player, Joe.
Player down on the field for Trotwood Madison. While they attend to him, we'll step away as well. With the score, the Trotwood Madison Rams 14, the St. Mary's Rough Riders nothing with 2:47 remaining here in the third. On the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard, we'll take a break. We'll come right back.
St. Mary's Foundry is a global leader in manufacturing complex iron castings. Our skilled workforce takes pride in producing the highest quality iron castings, weighing up to 60,000 pounds. St. Mary's Foundry wants to take this opportunity to give a big shout out to all our local teams, wishing them a safe and extraordinary season. And speaking of great teams, St. Mary's Foundry would like to thank its very own team of hardworking employees for their loyalty and dedication. If you're looking for rewarding challenges and first-string wages and benefits, check us out at stmfoundry.com or on hometownopportunities.com. St. Mary's Foundry, where iron and ingenuity meet.
Welcome back once again to Sidney Memorial Stadium. Joe Hurlbert alongside Doug Spencer and the injured player being helped off the field. He's only up on his own, walking on his own power, but I don't know if he knows exactly where he's at right now, is Sammy Anderson. So they'll take him to the sideline and check him out. We'll see if he returns. But nonetheless, the Rough Riders, 3rd and 5 at their own 26. Kurt Bupp to Troglin. Troglin is going to be thrown for a loss by Quentin Davis of Trotwood, who just really busted through the offensive line, and Troglin had nowhere to go. That'll bring up a punting situation, and Brandon Bowers will come to do the punting. As it is 4th and 8 for the Rough Riders, the ball will be at their own 23-yard line. Back to return the punt for the Rams is Carl Blanton Jr. Bowers, low snap, gets the punt away. Get it! Is on the ground, and the Rough Riders miss an opportunity there.
Oh, my, Joe.
As Blanton Jr. falls on the fumble, and so the Rams dodge a bullet.
Here we see it on the replay. He just drops it.
And falls on it.
Tanner Howe looks like he was next to it, but didn't know that it was loose at that time as he was being blocked to the ground. And as we mentioned earlier, we need, at pregame, we need the Rams to make mistakes. Joe, they haven't.
No, they haven't. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Trotwood Madison Rams at their own 46-yard line. Cooper Stewart under center. He'll turn. He'll give the ball to Hughley. Hughley to the 50 and is brought down by Ethan Wedding, but really not brought down per se. He eluded his tackle and
got a stiff arm, and Ethan sheds that out pretty good and eventually pulls him
to the ground.
But Hughley gets a Hughley gain of 9. 2nd down and 1 from the Rough Riders 45. Give a shout out to our listeners at Guarneri's, great sponsor of ours. They put the games on. So Dex and Garrett, thank you for checking in, and thanks Ange and the staff at Guarneri's for being a great sponsor for Rider Nation Station.
Right up the middle it goes to Keyshawn Hughley. He'll have more than enough for the 1st down as they'll move the chains once again. 1:54 remaining here in the 3rd quarter. Don't forget, coming up between our 3rd and 4th quarter is another Big Ralph Rider Radio replay. And if you happen to miss the first one, it was the hit. They call it the hit, Nick Yale.
That's been 15 years ago, and people still know exactly what you're talking about when you say the hit. And listening to that rebroadcast of Big Ralph and you doing that call, and Ches was thrown in there when we were doing it with MTV. You could overhear him. That was just a spectacular defensive play.
Cooper Stewart will give it to Hughley. Hughley will sweep to left. We got a flag on the play, so this is going to be called back.
Yep.
And you know what? If you watch the video replay of tonight's broadcast, which will be aired Monday on TSC channel 702 and 13.1, the hit, that audio will be synced with the video of that play. Am I correct in that?
I like to say yes. I hope that the technical guru is going to be able to make that happen.
Did you find it?
So we found the clip on YouTube, which was from the Memorial Television that
Really?
I was an advisor of, and Danielle Nelson was my camera gal who captured the hit, and it was beautifully captured by Danielle, who was a student working in that Memorial Television Club.
1st down and 22, ball at the Trotwood Madison 47. We're under a minute here in the 3rd quarter. Right up the middle goes Hughley. He's to the 40, to the 35, to the 30.
Mask.
Face mask called to the 10, 5, and touchdown, but it's going to be called back.
Nope, it's going to be a touchdown, Joe.
Why is that?
Because the face mask is against us.
So Keyshawn Hughley.
And another penalty just thrown there after the play. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think it was our defender pulled the helmet right there.
There's the face mask. It is a face mask on the Rough Riders, and Hughley will take this one 53 yards to the house and put up, I believe, 6 more points for Trotwood Madison, but we're going to see there's some stoppage on the field of play. Officials are talking. You see them gathered together at about the 25-yard line. We'll see what this all is when it's all said and done. But there was a definite face mask on the Rough Riders. We'll see. Then there was a late flag.
There's the face mask call against St. Mary's. Dead ball.
Unsportsmanlike contact called against the St. Mary's Rough Riders. So somebody must have said something to the official that he wasn't particularly interested in hearing.
You know, Joe, as a defensive coordinator and you're trying to prepare for the Rams, the number one question I think that I've seen tonight is how do you stop Hughley?
Yeah.
And am I speaking of Keontae or am I speaking of Keyshawn?
Exactly.
What a pair of weapons that you have right there with number 1, Keontae Hughley, and number 6, Keyshawn Hughley. And they are big boys. Keontae 5'10", 195, and Keyshawn 5'9", 198.
Also keep in mind they have done this without their leading rusher, Hezekiah Hudson Davis, who rushed for over 1,000 yards this year and 10 touchdowns. And he has not seen a lot of action in the second half. I think
I haven't seen him at all since
since he went out in the first half.
Right before.
So the touchdown
end of the
will
half.
stand. 6 more points tacked on for Trotwood Madison. They lead 20-0 with the PAT to come. Carter Mims will attempt the point after out of the hold of Stuart Cooper. Snap is down. Kick is up, and we got another flag.
Caught us again for offsides.
So the Rough Riders jumped the gun a little bit, and it'll be penalty against the Rough Riders. We're going to move it half the distance to the goal on this. Or are they going to decline it?
Yep, they declined it, Joe. Coach Graham just says, let us
play on.
Let us just put that point on the board, bring it to 21-0 on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard.
Carter Mim, no bigger than a Mimmet. He's not very big, is he? Kick is up. The kick is good. And with the score, the Trotwood Madison Rams 21, the St. Mary's Rough Riders nothing, with 46 seconds remaining to go in the third quarter. We'll take this break. We'll come back right after this.
If you're looking to renovate your home, former Rough Rider football standout Craig Hewer is your go-to man. Hewer Renovating is an all-phase residential specialist with over 40 years experience and an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Improve your investment by giving Hewer Renovating a call at 419-394-8643.
Auglaze Equipment Rental is your source for all your equipment needs. Whether you're a contractor or a homeowner with a project, we can help get the job done more efficiently. Check us out at 1900 Salina Road or auglazEquipmentRental.com or just call 419-394-7883. Auglaze Equipment Rental.
The 15-yard face mask penalty and the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty has been tacked on to the kickoff. They will kick the football off at the St. Mary's 30-yard line. And if he doesn't kick this out of the back of the end zone, I'll be surprised.
Or squib it.
And he's going to squib it. And it's picked up by Dylan Troglin.
Make something happen, Dylan. Make something happen.
And he is tackled at the 20-yard line.
He had the chance to make it happen, but number 22, Quentin Davis, gets that shoestring tackle. Another flag.
Now there's 2 flags on the play. One thrown early. It's setting down. It's a block below the knees. And the other one is a late flag, and I'm not sure what this one's going to be about. Well, they're not so sure about that. We'll see what happens again. .41 seconds remaining here in the third quarter.
Alder 14, Baden 23 in the third quarter, Joe.
Wow.
That's an illegal block
and
against below the knees against the Rams. And did we have unsportsmanlike call against St. Mary's again?
I believe. Blocking below the knees against Trotwood Madison, unsportsmanlike conduct against the Rough Riders. Oh, who's
and somebody just got tossed as well.
Not really sure who got.
Can we see a
thrown
replay
under the
again?
ball game.
See if we can make any sense of this.
Well, if you look down along the sideline, you see one of the coaches.
There was the block below the knees. Saw that penalty. No idea where the unsportsmanlike came and the ejection. Number 12, let's follow him, keep following. They stayed behind.
Yeah, I think Ty Howell has been ejected from this ball game. Braden Hemmelgarn will replace him in the backfield. So that's a big blow for the Rough Rider offense and defense, as Hemmelgarn will get the ball and he'll sweep to the right and he'll pick up about 5
Great
yards
first
on
run
the play.
by Hemmelgarn, who just checks in, gets a gain of close to 5 yards. 25 seconds to go in this third quarter as we get ramped up for the Big Ralph Rider replay. Second down and 5.
Our backfield not very big. Give the ball to Ross Henchen. He'll get the ball across the 30, still churning. He's brought
going to
down
be
at
right
about
at the sticks,
32-yard
Joe.
line, so it'll be close to a first down, if not a first down.
Wingman saying move him.
So it'll be first down and 10 for the Rough Riders. Clock
9
is running.
seconds
That'll be the last play of the third quarter. So with the score after 3, the Trotwood Madison Rams 21, the St. Mary's Rough Riders nothing on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. We'll take a break. We'll listen to our Big Ralph Rider replay brought to you by Guarneri's on Spring Street, home of the signature Big Ralph sub, pizza, and calzone. Come try our thirst-quenching Rider Aid before, during, and after the game. It's Guarneri's. Give them a call at 419-394-2244. We hope you enjoy this edition of the Big Ralph Rider replay.
It is a touchdown for the St. Mary's Rough Riders. Chris Wing picks up the fumble, scoots it into the end zone, 13-yard, or let's make it a 17-yard touchdown recovery from a fumble.
Back in the day, Chris Wing, who later went on and played college football down at the University of Cincinnati.
That is true, Joe.
Had a good career down there, but
probably
the big
looking
fella back then.
1987, 1988 season for the Rough Riders. We've had a couple scoops and 6 points off the scoops this year, just like Chris Wang did in that Big Ralph Rider replay.
Yep.
We need something to get this Rough Riders scoreboard to show some points here.
The wheels are starting to fall off for the St. Mary's Rough Riders, and Ty Howe lost his composure, said something to the official, and has been ejected from this contest.
Varsity Lanes, home of the Rough Riders 2018-19 Boys and Girls State Bowling Champions. Striking up delicious food, 32 taps, Queen of Hearts, and nightly food and drink specials with a great family atmosphere. Carry out is available. Stop in and see us after the game. Go Riders! Unique Awards and Signs, here to take care of your signage, graphic award, and gift customization needs. From banners for your graduate or corporate sponsors to awards recognizing those dedicated employees or champion sport teams. Stop in at 1865 Salina Road or call us at 419-394-1612.
All righty, getting ready for play to start. And a little reverse direction there. Hemmelgarn, another gain of about 5 yards, Joe. He's come in, been a little bit of a spark plug, but we need a big spark plug, and we need it quick.
I'm kind of keeping an eye on Ty Howe, and I think Ty is going to be escorted to the locker room.
Yeah, I think the officials finally identified that he was still standing on the sidelines and said, you've got to go to the locker room. There he goes.
Hemmelgarn.
Keep going.
Good second effort by Braden Hemmelgarn. They'll pick up a first down for the Rough Riders. So Braden Hemmelgarn comes in and gives this offense a little bit of a spark.
Time is getting short with 11:20, but this game is not over.
Kurt Bupp counter back to Hemmelgarn, and Hemmelgarn's going to be thrown for about a 3-yard loss.
Hughley smelled that one out, hit him from behind the line of scrimmage, and a loss of 3 is going to present second down and 13 for the Rough Riders. Number 1,
Dylan Roby checks into the ball game. Ethan Freewalt checks out. Riley Swigert will lead the offense to the line of scrimmage. Give the ball to Bupp. Up the middle it goes to Henchen. Henchen picks up about 7 yards on the play. Good run by Ross Henchen.
Nort Frank commented it's time for the lonesome polecat, Joe. Be interesting if we do see it here in the next 10 and a half minutes that are on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard clock.
Aiden Hinkle in at fullback for the Rough Riders. Turn will give it to Hinkle. Tries to run off the left side, and he is stopped by the Trotwood Madison defense. And we'll give him a gain of about 2 on the play. If that, we'll call it 4th down and about 3, and that'll bring up a punting situation for the Rough Riders. But I think at this point in time,
you got to go for it.
You've got to go for it because time is on the side of the Trotwood Madison Rams.
It's right at midfield.
They lead 21-0 on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard.
Got to get to the 47.
He's going to turn and he's going to throw. He's looking for Ethan Wedding, and he's going to overthrow him. Overthrew him by about 10 yards.
I was wide open.
Yep.
So turnover on downs for the Rough Riders.
And
Trotwood's going to take it over 1st down and 10 right at midfield with 9:48 to go in this contest.
Dylan Roby will stay in the ball game. He'll be at one corner for the Rough Riders. Dylan Troglin at the other. The safety will now be Carson Fishbach, and he will replace Ty Howell at the free safety position. Trey Fisher, Blake Knorr, your ends. Hunter Fultz and Trace Mabry, your defensive tackles. Cooper Stewart, your quarterback. Hughley in the backfield. Here comes Keontae Hughley, and he'll be stopped. He'll be stopped for a gain of about 1 on the play. Keyshawn Hughley's the fullback. Keontae is the tailback. And, of course, we haven't seen, as we mentioned, Hezekiah Hudson Davis, who left in the first half with an injury. Ball will be placed at the Rough Rider 49-yard line. Clock is running, 9:16 remaining here in the football contest. The Division III Region 12 semifinal game. The winner of this game will take on Hamilton Baton and Kettering Alder winner. Cooper Stewart's going to throw the football. He's being flushed. He's tackled and thrown for a loss. Good job by the defense there. There's Blake Knorr and Trace Mabry.
Yep, Trace Mabry put a nice initial hit to bring down Cooper Stewart with the sack. And then had the associates of Knorr and Walter to make certain that he was coming down. There's a little spark, but 3rd down and 12. 8.5 minutes to go in this contest.
Wyland McCollum in the ball game for the Rough Riders. He'll be a part of that defensive front for the blue and gold. Ball placed near the right hash mark for Trotwood Madison. 2 receivers to the left, 1 to the right. Hughley in the backfield. They'll give the ball to Keyshawn, and he'll fight forward for about 3 yards.
This could be 4th and about 9, and we're going to see the Trotwood Madison Ram punt team come on.
And back to receive the punt. Of course, now we have to fill Ty Howell's spot back there as Dylan Troglin and Carson Fishbach will go back, but they're not so sure they're going to punt this one. Carson Fishbach is the lone punt returner. There's the punt by Reese. It's going to hit at about the 25, roll inside the 20, and it'll be down at about the 15-yard line of St. Mary's.
All right, Rough Rider fans, it's time for the St. Mary's offense to put something together here, get points on that St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. 7:31 to go. I think I just saw 38-6.
That was Jonathan Alder.
Okay.
Jonathan Alder and Jackson.
And it's tough to bring. It's nice that they're putting the scores on there, but if you look away for a nanosecond, it's gone.
Kurt Bupp is going to pass the football. He is flushed, and he flushes it out on a little screen pass, and
that would be a shot put, Joe.
It was.
And it was effective.
To Ross
Henson didn't cleanly pull it in. Otherwise, he would have been able to get a few more yards. He has to kind of stop here because he bobbles it, and then he goes. But that was definitely a shot put.
Keoshain Hughley in on the stop, but good job, good concentration by Ross Henson.
What a great heads-up play by number 2, Kurt Bupp, as he couldn't find anything else downfield. Didn't have time to throw because he had defenders breathing down his neck, and he puts that over to Ross Henson. Gets a gain of 5, 2nd down and 5.
Boy, for the Rough Rider offense, it's been a tough night all night. There's a pass to Blake Knorr, and it is incomplete. But the Rough Riders really have not been a threat to get it into the end zone tonight, and the closest time they did get it to the end zone, they just shot themselves in the foot, and the next thing you know, they were not able to put any points on the board.
We had two passing situations and got sacked both times, kept moving northbound instead of southbound here at Sydney Memorial Stadium at 30-0 field, and we just put nothing on the board.
Ethan Freewald in the ballgame for the Rough Riders. Here's Hemmelgarn. So Braden picks up good yardage, and he'll get a first down for the Rough Riders, so they'll move the chains. It was 3rd and 5. We'll give
Might be a little shy, Joe.
Well, seriously? Yep. All right.
Yep, it's going to be a little shy.
A little premature. I thought he picked up more than he did, so he's going to be about half a yard short.
Love your optimism, though.
So the Rough Riders will go for it. 4th and 1 at their own 25.
Big surge moving forward. That's a first down.
And Kurt Bupp is still going. Give Kurt Bupp a gain of about 5-6 yards on the play.
You know, he in the first half, he almost snuck out of one. Here you see it on the replay. He's leading the pack there.
Absolutely.
That might be our most effective play today.
Might be the longest run from the line of scrimmage tonight. 5:55 remaining here in the ball game. Bupp looking to throw the football. Hook and ladder, and he'll throw it to Hemmelgarn. And Hemmelgarn will get the first down. We'll give him a gain of about 14 on the play.
Nice pass to Carson Fischbach. Catches it, as you see here on the replay. Stops and pitches it back to Hemmelgarn. Good enough to move the chains and getting closer to moving into Rams territory.
Yep, ball will be placed at the St. Mary's 48-yard line. Dylan Roby in the ball game. Bupp's going to go back to throw.
Got to get rid of it.
He's in trouble. He's going to throw a pass to Hinkle. Hinkle's got blockers in front. He's to the 40, to the 35, to the 30, to the 25-yard line.
Got a flag. And Kurt Bupp is saying that it's on the Rams. That looks like it might be a roughing the passer situation right there.
For sure.
And I think it is. So that's going to move it again.
So the Rough Riders will move a little bit closer to the end zone.
Roughing the passer is a call by the man in the white hat. What great poise and presence by number 2, Kurt Bupp. He knows he's going to get hit, has the patience and the presence of mind to find that open receiver, which happened to be Aiden Hinkle. And what a great upfield run by Aiden Hinkle. Once he did catch the ball, lower his shoulder. And, folks, this ball is going to be placed in between the 12 and 13 there. And here we see Aiden Hinkle. Good vision downfield, running backwards, though.
Good catch.
Running down the field.
I think that's just might be. I haven't seen him catch too many passes. That might be his first pass catch of the season, or the games that we have seen.
Well, looks like the Rams want to take a timeout and discuss this little offensive surge by the Rough Riders over with 5:09 on the scoreboard. We'll take a break. Come back right after these messages.
Do you find yourself faced with injustice or confronted with a legal matter that you need help resolving? If so, call attorney David Walbacher at 216-225-9181. That's attorney David Walbacher for all your legal needs.
Back to action at Sydney Memorial Stadium. Joe Hurlbert alongside Doug Spencer. 21-0. Trotwood Madison leads on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. Kurt Bupp looking in the end zone, and it's a touchdown to Dylan Troglin.
I'll tell you what, Joe, he stepped into that pocket as it's collapsing right there. He's got 3 defenders that are closing in on him. Throws a nice pass to the sliding Dylan Troglin, who gathers it in. 6 points for the Rough Riders finally. There's the pass, and there is Dylan Troglin with that touchdown reception.
12 yards, the touchdown pass from Kurt Bupp to Dylan Troglin. Into attempt the point after is Bowers, and it is up, and it is good. So with 5:02 remaining here in the football contest, on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard, it's the Trotwood Madison Rams 21, the St. Mary's Rough Riders 7. We'll be back right after this.
Here to help make life go right is your local good neighbor State Farm agent, Laura Yelton, with 30 years experience. Visit Laura and her team located in downtown St. Marys for your auto, home, banking, and life insurance needs. Be a legend. Insure your life.
Back to Sydney Memorial Stadium. Joe Hurlbert alongside Doug Spencer, where the Rough Riders have scored their first touchdown of the contest to make it a 21-7 score. Trotwood Madison still out front, and this kickoff is being brought to you by your State Farm agent, Laura Yelton. Be a legend. Insure your life. We'll see if the Riders try an onside kick. That's what they're shooting for.
9-10,
and it is unsuccessful. Good job by the Trotwood Madison Special Teams unit, number 9.
It just bounces perfectly for number 9. He still has to bring it in, and he did. Dalen Morgan, nice hands team for the Trotwood.
You know what?
Rams.
If you look at that, really, if he was decide to take off and run, he only had like one man in front of him. He had an open field. Everybody else had run by him, and he could have just gone the other way. But nonetheless, it'll be first down and 10 for Trotwood Madison at their own 49-yard line. 4:52 remaining. Stewart under center. Give the ball to, no, he's going to throw the football. He's going to go deep, and he's going to pass it. And the pass was to Carl Blanton Jr., and it falls incomplete. Good defense there by Dylan Troglin.
Here we see on the replay, going to fake the handoff to Hughley. Airs it up. There's Troglin, knocks it out of his hands.
So it'll bring up second down and 10 for Trotwood Madison.
Stopped his clock, too. Huge defensive series here.
Absolutely.
Rough Riders need to make something happen quickly. 4:46 is all that's left on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard.
Stewart under center will give the ball to Keyshawn Hughley, and he'll just plow forward for about 5 yards. We'll call it third down and 5.
St. Mary's is going to take a timeout, Joe. Stop the clock, 4:38. We're going to go to our sponsors, and we'll be back after these messages.
Even though the music on the patio has come to an end, Guarneri's would like to thank everyone for joining them on the patio on Friday nights. Though the music has ended, stop in and try their signature Big Ralph sub, pizza, or calzone. Guarneri's on Spring Street in St. Mary's. Give them a call at 419-394-2244.
Vogel's Bake Shop, making thousands of fresh donuts daily. Open 7 days a week with stores in St. Mary's, Salina, and Walpock. Also now found in Wagner's IGA in New Bremen, Minster, and Fort Laramie.
If you're in the market to buy or sell a home, your job is made easy with Scott Ross Realty. Contact one of their hardworking, well-trained agents today at 419-305-4373 for all of your home buying and selling needs. Scott Ross Realty, wishing all Rough Rider sports good luck.
4:40 remaining in the football contest on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. Trotwood Madison on top, 21-7. They have the lead and the football. Or it'll be third down, and we'll call it 5 at the Rough Rider 46-yard line. Of course, Keyshawn Hughley and Keontae Hughley.
Big down for us. Come on, Rough Rider defense.
They've got 3 receivers to the left, 2 to the right. Stewart, the lone set back. He'll give it to Keontae Hughley, and he'll pick up the first down, I believe, as he is stopped at the St. Mary's, we'll call it 36-yard line.
Joe, just can't say anything more than smart play calling right there.
Yeah.
Had an off-balanced line, just 2 on the right side of the center. That quick pass out there and let Hughley do what he does best, and that's use his athleticism to move northbound and move the chains.
Well, I haven't been impressed by the Trotwood Madison offensive backfield. They are not very big, but I'll tell you what, they play with a lot of heart, and they are very athletic. Here comes Keontae Hughley.
Nice tackle by number 1, Dylan Roby, brings down Hughley.
Yeah, Dylan Roby is probably one of the smallest guys on the field, And this is Keyshawn, not Keontae. So we got another timeout on the field with the score. The Trotwood Madison Rams 21, the St. Mary's Rough Riders 7, with 4 minutes remaining in the football contest on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. We'll take a break. We'll come right back right after this.
Fellowship of Christian Athletes is a middle school and high school club looking to spread God's love throughout numerous schools and communities of our local area. FCA's favorite play of the game is both teams joining together in prayer at the conclusion of the game. God bless you, sports fans.
Well, we welcome you back once again to Sydney Memorial Stadium. Joe Hurlbert alongside Doug Spencer. And while we got a moment, we'll want to thank all of our sponsors for bringing Rough Rider football to you on Rider Nation Station. Albert Sporting Goods, All Glaze Equipment Rental, Dave Weilbacher, Fellowship of Christian Athletes, Guarneri Pizzeria, Unique Awards and Signs, Varsity Lanes, and Vogel Bake Shop. And you're looking at me funny. What did I say?
How many Weilbacher Attorney at Law commercials have you read?
I don't know, but he's on my game sponsor list.
Somehow I think we inadvertently omitted reading Weilbacher Attorney at Law.
Well, I had no copy, so I couldn't do anything. But we thank Dave for being with us. As a matter of fact, he's down in the truck, and we appreciate what he's done with us all year long. For the Trotwood Madison Rams, they'll have the ball again, 1st and 10 at the 22-yard line of the St. Mary's Rough Riders. 3:53 remaining. Clock is stopped. 8 seconds on the play clock. Stewart under center. Give the ball to Keontae Hughley. To the 15, to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Trotwood Madison.
22-yard touchdown run by number 6, Keyshawn Hughley. Here you see it on the replay. A little hop, and he just explodes and pretty much untouched. 22-yard touchdown for the Trotwood Madison Rams.
Hinda trying to point after touchdown is Carter Mims. Cooper Stewart will do the holding for the point after. 27-7. It's been pretty much all Trotwood Madison in this contest. Kick is up. Kick is good. So with 3:48 remaining here in the contest, it's the Trotwood Madison Rams 28, the St. Mary's Rough Riders 7 on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. We'll take a break. We'll come back right after this.
Have you heard about TSC's referral program? Refer your friends and family, and you both get a credit matching the services they chose. That's right, we'll credit your invoice. There's no limit to the number of friends you can refer. So come back to your local hometown provider and bring your friends and family with you. We'll reward you both.
TSC, give us a call and see. It's easy as 1, 2, 3, call TSC.
This kickoff return is being brought to you by your State Farm agent, Laura Yelton. Be a legend. Insure your life. Mims will kick it off. It'll be a short kick. It'll be picked up by Ross Henshin. Henshin will bring it to about the 42-yard line, I believe, is where, or the, excuse me, the 36. On the 40. They're going to mark it on the 40. And here's your call. This is the lonesome pole cop formation. Now keep in mind, Ethan Wedding is an eligible receiver at center. So see if he'll go up the middle and see if Bupp can see him. Now we've got a timeout on the field called by the Trotwood Madison Rams, and of course
that is one effective outcome of running the lonesome polecat. Is it usually does get a team to burn its timeout, burn a timeout. Not that it is really that impactful at this point in time of the contest, but Coach Graham wants to talk things over with his defense and let them kind of get organized as how they need to try to defend this and what potential outcomes can develop from the St. Mary's offense here.
And keep in mind, Ethan Wedding is the center, and he is an eligible receiver. And, of course, when we talk to Coach Fry during the game, he goes to the officials at the beginning of the game, and he says, this is what we're going to possibly run. And I want to remind you, men in the striped shirts, that the center is an eligible receiver. And then they all gather together and go, huh?
Yeah.
What?
Joe, I wish you would have asked the question, who named it the Lonesome Polecat?
Yeah, that would have been a good one.
Looks like we're going to do a halfback pass. Nice
Trotwood
block.
is going to let one
Ducks
go, and it's going to be short. So Dylan Troglin on a halfback pass. The pass was intended for Carson Fishbach. It was short.
Watch this block here. It frees up. Bam. Number 76, I believe, for the Riders.
That's Gavin Ward.
But what a beautiful block, and it was outstretched arms.
Lonesome
Fumble on the play.
Polk,
This is going to be 6.
It's going to be picked up and run into the end zone to the 10, to the 5. Touchdown, Trotwood Madison.
Number 20.
Davin Aidenbraun picks up the loose ball and takes it to the house.
Yep, ran this out of the Lonesome Polecat. They must have been ready for it, Joe, because it was well defended, knocked the ball out of Kurt Bupp's hands, and there was no one around to stop that from happening. And
you could have ran that one in without question.
You know, I'm a lot more athletic than I look, Joe. So
Carter Mim will be on to try the point after to try to make it 35-7. Rams. 3:24 remaining in the football contest. The Trotwood Madison Rams will move on. They'll take on the winner of Kettering Alder and Hamilton Baden. And I think the last score we saw, Hamilton Baden was winning, but we'll double check. There's the snap. Point after is
blocked.
Up, and it is blocked. So with 3:24 remaining in the football contest, it's the Trotwood Madison Rams 34, the St. Mary's Rough Riders 7. On the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard, we'll keep it right here. Anna 47-20 over Fairview.
You do the top score, I'll do the bottom score.
Exactly.
It's flashing so quick.
Let's see. Except for that. Then that's up there forever.
Yes. Well, the Rough Riders had a great season, Joe. It's going to come to an end. Alter 21, Baden 38 in the fourth quarter.
Yep.
You know, got to play in November, not once, but twice. Unfortunately, we're going to come on the short end of the stick here, but nothing to hang your head about with this season, especially keep in mind, game one right here. If it wasn't for a shoestring tackle by number 35, Tanner Howe, and then the blocked field goal attempt by 85.
Austin Parks.
Yeah, Austin Parks. We would have started off with a loss there, or a potential loss, as Dylan Troglin returns the kick. Stiff arm, and he is still up somehow.
And he'll get it to the 30-yard line.
Finally brought down by the man who just scooped and found pay dirt, number 20, Davon Anderbron. But we won that game, but then
we could have very easily been 0-3.
We very easily, because the next week we lose by a touchdown in overtime to Wapakoneta, and then the following week we go to Ottawa-Glandorf, and we try a 44, 45-yard field goal to tie it up, and it falls short, and so we lose. And this team also lost a couple key players. They overcame adversity, put together a very nice season, and they are playing a very impressive, extremely athletic Trotwood Madison team, who the AP put Trotwood Madison as the number 4 team in the state for Division III.
Well, Braden Hemmelgarn picks up enough for the first down. It'll be 1st and 10 for the Rough Riders at their own 41-yard line.
Hayden Hinkle, the ball carrier on that one.
We'll give him a gain of about 4 on the play. We'll call it 2nd down and 6, 2:48 remaining. Rough Riders have 1 timeout left, as do Trotwood Madison. I don't think either team will use a timeout at this point. Maybe the Rough Riders will. We'll see. Hemmelgarn in the wing. Kurt Bupp's going to throw the football. He's looking downfield, and he'll throw it to Hemmelgarn at about the 45-yard line and overshoots him. So it's incomplete. That'll stop the clock.
You know, interesting, Joe, that the irony of This is where the season commenced.
This is where it's going to end.
And this is where it's going to conclude for the 2019 St. Mary's Memorial Rough Riders. And we will play no more.
Absolutely
the
not.
Sydney Yellow Jackets.
There's Hinkle on the carry. He'll go off the left side on a trap, and he is stopped. He's going to be short of the first down. Two minutes remaining here in the football contest. 34-7, Trotwood Madison on top.
And you know, Joe, Zach Farrow, who's usually doing the color with you when he's somewhere in town, as Braden Himmelgarn has another nice run and really gets knocked out of the field. He's still with us because he sent a good text message reminder that this is it for the seniors.
It is.
As we are on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard 152, we've got great seniors who have put in a lot of blood, sweat, and tears for this program, for this community, and it's going to come to an end. Yep. And that's always a tough time for that closure to develop for these young men.
Well, we had a chance on the Doug Fry Show a few weeks back to honor and recognize the seniors that will be playing their final game here tonight. We did that prior to the last home game and the last regular season game that the Rough Riders played. But you have a list of them, I think.
So, we've got a minute 22 left, and it is Alder 21 and Baden 38. Senior year football comes to an end for number 1, Dylan Roby, number 2, Kurt Bupp, number 4, Lucas Walter, number 8, Carson Fischbach, number 10, Trey Fisher, number 12, Ty Howell, number 16, Riley Metz, number 23, Zach Hesse.
There's a pass. He's looking for Austin Parks down the field into the end zone, and it falls incomplete.
26, Ty Slosser, who's been out since about the third quarter of Game 3 at OG with the knee injury. Number 27, Ethan Freewalt. And number 54, who missed the season with an injury as well,
Jace
Norton. Number 56, Logan Allen. Number 62, Riley Swigert. Number 67, Zeke Giano.
4th down and 13 for the Rough Riders. This could possibly be the last play for the Rough Riders unless they pick up a first down. Kurt Bupp turns, and it's going to be a fumble
again
to the 40. Deontay Hughley to the 5, touchdown. So Kurt Bupp's pass was not a pass. It was knocked loose, fell to the turf, and picked up by number 6, Keyshawn Hughley.
And Kurt Bupp tried to make something out of the situation because it was 4th down and correct?
Right.
And he just couldn't run out of bounds. So he turns, does a 180, and had somebody open, but as he's trying to throw it, the ball gets knocked loose, and there's just nobody else there except for a Trotwood Madison player, Keyshawn Hughley.
And I'll tell you what,
6 more.
The difference in this ball game was the capitalization of the mistakes that the Trotwood Madison Rams were able to do on the Rough Riders. 2 fumbles, 2 scoop and 6s. Carter Mims with the point after touchdown. It's up and it's good. So the score 41, Trotwood Madison, St. Mary's Rough Riders 7 on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard. We'll continue on with recognizing these seniors.
I think I left off number 67, Zeke Wijano, and I know I do not have that pronounced correctly. Sorry about that, Zeke. And we are going to finish off with number 86, Henry Spencer. And last but not least, he's been Mr. Defense for St. Mary's for several years. That's number 97, 6'4", 255-pounder, Blake Knorr. not the way that the Rough Riders wanted to end their season, but again, anytime you're playing in November, that means good things. And fellers can't hang their heads on this one. As we talked at pre-game, that we have to keep a clean game, and we've got to try to make the Trotwood Madison Rams force some errors on their part that we can capitalize on. Unfortunately, it was just inverted, Joe, that we did not play the clean game, and they did. And as a result, we're looking at a 41-7 score on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard.
And right now the clock is running with a running clock, so Carter Mims' kick will go to Troglin at the 20, to the 25, to the 30. He's going up the left side.
He's got some
right
room, Joe.
To the 50, to the 45-yard line goes Dylan Troglin. Clock is running. It's stopped now with 49.8 seconds remaining, and of course, here in the second half, score is more than 30. We'll have a running clock to close this season out for the St. Mary's Rough Riders, whose season will come to a close with an overall record of 9 wins and 4 losses. Clock is running. We're down to the final 40 seconds. Kurt Bupp will turn, and he'll give the ball to Ross Henshin. Henshin will get a gain of 8. It'll be second down and about 2 for the Rough Riders. And it defeats Fairview, or it's in the third quarter, 54-20. Into the ball game is number 23. That's Zach Hess. Zach Hesse. We're under 10 seconds for the Rough Riders. Aiden Hinkle right up the gut to the 27-yard line, and that should end the ball game. Well, we got a timeout on the field, or the clock stopped. No, they said run it, and that's the end of the ball game. Our final score from Sidney Memorial Stadium in this Division III Regional 12 semifinal contest. It's the Trotwood Madison Rams 41, the St. Mary's Rough Riders 7. We'll be back with our stats and some final thoughts right after this. Our post-game show is being brought to you by Hewer Renovating. If you're looking to renovate your home, former Rough Rider football standout Craig Hewer is your go-to man. Hewer Renovating is an all-phase residential specialist with over 40 years experience and an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Improve your investment by giving Hewer Renovating a call at 419-394-8643. Hewer Renovating. Give him a call at 419-394-8643. Welcome back to Sidney Memorial Stadium on this Friday night of high school tournament football, where the Trotwood Madison Rams defeat the St. Mary's Rough Riders on the St. Mary's Foundry scoreboard by a score of 41-7. They will move on, and they will play the winner of the Kettering Archbishop Alder and Hamilton Baden. And as we check up on the scoreboard, we'll see if we can catch a score between those two ball clubs as the two teams here tonight shake hands. Alder trails Hamilton. It's a final. I think it's 38-21, I believe, was the score. That Hamilton Baden defeats Kettering Alder. So it should be Hamilton Baden, the number 4 seed, taking on Trotwood Madison in the regional finals of Division III, Region 12. They'll be taking on the number 7 seed, Trotwood Madison. So both teams have come together at midfield to express congratulations and wish each other the best of luck as they move on down the tournament trail. 41-7 is our final score, and we'd like to thank the Fellowship of Christian Athletes once again for being a sponsor. As you can see on our screen, this is their favorite play of the game. It's when both these two teams come together at the end of the game to pray. It's FCA, the Fellowship of Christian Athletes. They're making a difference in the lives of our student athletes. God bless you, sports fans. So, Doug, let's take a look at the final game statistics on tonight's ball game.
All righty, Joe. We've got rushing. Number 20, Ross Hench at 9 rushes, 46 yards. His long was 10, 5.1 yards per carry. Number 3, Aiden Hinkle, 9 rushes, 30 yards, long of 10, 3.3 yards per carry. Braden Himmelgarn came in and a little bit of a spark. 8 rushes, 45 yards, 20 is his long, 5.6 yards per carry. Kurt Bupp, 8 rushes, negative 19 yards. Again, the sacks are what's going to hurt him. And long of 9, negative 2.4 yards per carry. Number 12, Ty Howell, 6 rushes, 53 yards, 23 is the long, 8.8 yards per carry. Ethan Wedding, 5 for 21 yards, 8 is his long, 4.2 yards per carry. Dylan Troglin, 2 rushes, negative 6 yards, negative 3 yards per carry. In the passing department, Kurt Bupp, 4 completions out of 10 attempts, 60 yards total, 27 is the longest reception. Dylan Troglin had 0 completions, 1 attempt, and Ty Howell the same, 0 completions, 1 attempt. Aiden Hinkle had 1 catch, was thrown to 1 time, 27 yards. Dylan Troglin, 1 catch, thrown to twice, 13 yards. Carson Fischbach, 1 catch, thrown to twice, 10 yards. Ross Henchen, 1 catch, thrown to once, 6 yards. Braden Himmelgarn thrown to once, did not catch it, 4 yards. That doesn't quite work out on the stats, but sometimes you make a mistake. So that rounds out the St. Mary's offense. For Trotwood Madison, you got to talk about Hughley and we're talking Keyshawn, 11 rushes, 130 yards, 53 long, 11.8 yards per carry. Cooper Stewart, 11 rushes, 7 yards, 7 is long. Hezekiah Hudson Davis, who we did not see at all in the second half, Joe, 9 rushes, 56 yards, 17 is his long, 6.2. Keontae Hughley, number 1, 9 rushes, 53 yards, 20 is his long, 5.9 yards per carry. And then they threw in Justin Johnston in the second half, 2 rushes, 6 yards, 3 yards per carry. Cooper Stewart threw the ball 13 times, 9 completions, 136 yards, 49 to long, and that went for a touchdown. And Keontae Hughley came in and threw a couple times, no completions there. Overall stats for the teams, Joe. Again, the score, St. Mary's 7, Trotwood Madison 41. St. Mary's only score was in the fourth quarter, scoring by quarters for Trotwood. Didn't score until the second quarter, where they scored 1 touchdown, 2 touchdowns in the third quarter, and 3 in the fourth quarter. Total first downs, close. St. Mary's 18, Trotwood Madison 19. St. Mary's had 11 by rushing, 3 by passing, 4 by penalty. 13 rushing for Trotwood, 6 by passing, 0 by penalty. 47 rush attempts for St. Mary's, 42 for Trotwood Madison. Net yards rushing, 170 for the Rough Riders, 252 for the Rams. We averaged 3.6 yards per carry to the Rams, 6 yards per carry. Longest rush for us was 23 yards, 53 yards for the Trotwood Madison Rams. Passing department, we had 60 net yards to 136 for the Rams. Passes completed 4 out of 12 attempts. We had 1 interception, and Cooper Stewart and Keontae Hughley combined for 9 of 14. Yards per completion, we had 15. Rams had 15.1. Longest pass completion for us, 27 for the Rams, 49, and again, that was the touchdown. The total offensive plays, 59 for St. Mary's, 56 for Trotwood. Ended up St. Mary's 230 yards to 388 for the Rams. And, Joe, that just spells with the turnovers that we had that St. Mary's is going to be on the wrong side of the ledger on this one, taking it 41-7 defeat by an extremely talented, athletic Trotwood Madison team that is going to advance into this tournament.
All right, Dougie, thank you very much for the final statistics in this ball game. You know what, as we wrap things up for our inaugural season here on Rider Nation Station, again, we hope that you enjoyed our audio broadcast as well as our video broadcast. And I will say this, that if you have not seen the video broadcasts of the Defiance game through the Trotwood Madison game, they will be reposted next week, so you will be able to catch them all and bring you up to speed with the video portion of the contest. And they were done for a reason, because of the scouting that is available these days through the internet. You had agreed with Coach Fry to remove them off of the channel so that other teams could not use them in scouting, because they only allowed three games. But if you put your whole season on, they've got another access to 10 games via the internet. So, we obliged with Coach Fry to remove them, but they will all be back on, starting with with all of them.
All that we did.
All that we did. We'll be back
as
on.
well as you're going to be able to watch whenever you want in the wintertime,
absolutely,
springtime, and gearing up for next football season. Every one of the games that we've done, as well as the Doug Fry Show and Rules of the Game. So what a great inaugural season for the Rider Nation Station doing football. And we're going to do a few sports in the winter season and see what the spring brings. But what a lot of fun, and thanks to our sponsors, thanks to our viewers. And, as I told you, it takes a lot of time to set up. It takes a little less time to tear down. But we still got a little bit of work ahead of us. So, Joe, I think it's probably time to wrap her up and try to get out of Sydney at a decent hour.
All righty. Once again, our final score: the Trotwood Madison Rams 41, the St. Mary's Rough Riders 7. Again, the Rough Riders, and I stand corrected, the Rough Riders will finish the season 9-3 on the season. Trotwood Madison, with the win, moves their record to 9-3. They move on and will face Hamilton Baden, I believe, in the Region 12 Division III finals next week. So for Doug Spencer, our entire Rider Nation crew that is with us, from everybody in the truck to our camera crew, we hope you enjoyed the inaugural season of Rough Rider football on Rider Nation Station. Again, for everyone with Rider Nation Station, again, the final score: the Trotwood Madison Rams 41, the St. Mary's Rough Riders 7. Until next season, so long, everyone.
Thanks for watching another episode of Rider Nation Station. Help us help you by subscribing on YouTube or following us on Facebook.